Okay, doke. Hey, Acta D, PKOSB, Dean, Jimmy, Michael, C4, Veracity, Sam G, Fling. Hope you're all doing well out there. Sorry if I missed anyone. Okay, so what we're going to dive into, got a big one tonight. Might be here a little while. It's not going to be ridiculously long, but it's probably looking at 2.5, maybe 3 hours. But you never know, maybe even longer. No, probably about 2.5, 3 hours tonight. We've got 21 cases, 21 near-death experience cases, where they specifically are going to be divided into talking about the life mission and purpose. And I call that obviously the life mission and purpose deception. And buckle up, my friends. That's all I got to say. Buckle up. So let's have some fun. And oh, just really quick, Elaferia, if you're listening out there, thank you again for your email. I definitely will get back to you after the weekend, and I hope you're doing well out there. Okay. All right. Let's roll.
You will look at yourself from this point. If God couldn't show up today, and God sent you in the events that you are about to watch, what difference did God make in the lives of the events that you're taking place? It's a heavy responsibility. But that's what we're doing here. If God couldn't show up today, and you had to be the difference that God made in these situations of what you're about to see, what difference did God make?
All right, so, I mean, seriously, we're already running into a problem here. God didn't show up today, but you did in his place. And that's why you're here. You know, God couldn't make it, neither could 15-foot Jesus. But, you know, this is why you're here. You know, and again, no offense to this guy or any of these people, you know, gotta have a little levity, little laugh once in a while. The point is this is how the system works. It perpetuates all these things like God and all these higher elevated beings that we're supposed to, you know, show up for or do things for, and also for our spiritual evolution. It's just, it's hard. It's just hard to stomach these things these days, you know.
But that's what we're doing here. God couldn't show up today, and you had to be the difference that God made in these situations of what you're about to see. What difference did God make? After I had the panoramic life review, and I had to sit down and reflect what a complete jerk I was, and what a failure I was as a spiritual being. We are not poor, pitiful.
Did you hear that? So he's also talking down on himself. He's allowed that to hit him there. That's sad. That's really sad. I mean, I feel bad when I hear things like this. Just like the case we went over, what was it, Thursday, where the guy felt he got kicked out of heaven. I mean, that's, you know, talk about a guilt trip.
After I had the panoramic life review, and I had to sit down and reflect what a complete jerk I was, and what a failure I was as a spiritual being. We are not poor, pitiful, struggling humans trying to have mystical experiences. We are great and awesomely powerful and mighty spiritual beings trying to have human experiences, and we're just not real good at it yet, but we're attempting.
Okay, we're not really good at it yet, but, you know, let's just use some logic here. If God, you know, if we're showing up for God, you know, we've got to evolve and stuff like that. What's up with the shoddy workmanship from God with this body? What's the whole issue with, you know, cognitive dissonance and all these swaying different emotions, pain? Think about how ridiculously weak the human body is. It does not take much to break a bone. Don't you think God could have maybe came up with something a little bit more resourceful? Maybe a little more durability? No. Say, God must have been busy the day he created humans and Earth. I mean, he's busy. He's busy.
For struggling humans trying to have mystical experiences. We are great and awesomely powerful and mighty spiritual beings trying to have human experiences, and we're just not real good at it yet. But we're attempting. That psychology must be in place. We must take that as the basis of how we look at ourselves, so that we know how to open up. We can't keep looking at ourselves as struggling, stupid little humans. We can't, because it's just not, it's wearing too thin. It's not applicable. We are not that. Yeah. We are responsible for making this world a great place to live in.
Did any of you happen to create the human vessel? We're not allowed to criticize God because he made this meat suit that is fragile, that, you know, this duality, this limited range of perception. No right to criticize that, right? And we are mighty beings. We absolutely are. He's spot on with that. It's what he says after that that's wrong. We are absolutely mighty spiritual creator beings, extremely powerful. And that's why we don't need to be answering to anything when we leave here.
Yeah. We are responsible for making this world a great place to live in. We are responsible for sharing our inner knowledge and our spiritual selves with those that are around us. And why? I don't really know all the reasons for it, but I know that what we do here works in a microcosm so that spirituality can watch these events and take from this experience and help evolve other worlds and other universes. Oh. This is like the microcosm of how spirit can react in a mental, material, physical matter.
Oh my God, guys, now I got it. We've got it. We figured it out. Let's pack up our bags. We're good. I'm shutting down the channel right now. Sorry, guys. Stream's over. We've got it all figured out.
This is like the microcosm of how spirit can react in a mental, material, physical matter. All of a sudden, once this was over, and I was trying to learn how to forgive myself for what I had done, and I just wasn't able to do it because I didn't think I deserved that forgiveness. I just honestly didn't think it. But yet no one ever judged me. Then this being and I, we traveled.
Okay, let me just say this. Nobody judged me, but he said he, you know, realized he was a failure as a spiritual being. Trust me. There was some judgment there. For him to make such a profound statement like that, it's because he feels that way. Okay? Because he was given that interpretation during his experience. And that is from the life review. He said the panoramic life review. So he went through it. He went through a judgment, karma, sinning life review. Well, obviously with good stuff too. But the point is we all know where that all leads. It's all about guilt tripping the individual, usually into either reincarnating or coming back here. It's either one of the two. Either way, you get stuck within the system. There may be like a little bit of a period where you get to hang out, obviously in the astral, get reconditioned and get a little peace. But then you go through the whole process all over again until you wake up and figure out and discover who you truly are and put this reality to the ultimate test. Question everything, leave no stone unturned, and finally discover oneself.
I had done, and I just wasn't able to do it because I didn't think I deserved that forgiveness. I just honestly didn't think it. But yet no one ever judged me.
He didn't deserve that forgiveness. Just think about it. He didn't deserve that forgiveness. I mean, that's so sad that he thinks that. My heart goes out to him, seriously.
Think it. But yet no one ever judged me. Then this being and I, we traveled. We began to move through frequencies and hues and energies. And it was so wondrous what we were going through. And I kept getting lighter and lighter and lighter. And I could feel more power. I came to a place where I knew I was all-knowing, that I had the ability to understand and conceive of all things. And which is a stark difference from who I am now, what an idiot that I am.
Calls himself an idiot. Says he's all-knowing. I mean, we've talked about this time and time again, but I have to keep bringing it up because I don't know who comes here when and stuff like that. So, you know, you're going to hear me repeat some things from time to time. And I have a big, big issue with NDEers who claim they are all-knowing or were all-knowing. Because usually, if you read between the lines of when they are saying that, they also will say somewhere in the near-death experience that they were given or told information. Specific words. Given, told, provided. Okay? That's not all-knowing. If you're all-knowing, you don't need to get exterior information from another being. You don't. You're just all-knowing means all-knowing. Case closed. It's specific words that are used. And then they come back here and, well, a little short on change there, right? There's a disconnect. And, you know, of course, that's because the human vessel's involved, but they also, we've shown time and time again on this channel that the memory wipe does, in fact, exist in near-death experiences. Now, to the extent it goes case to case, I can't say, but it's there. And that should be a concern for everybody.
That I had the ability to understand and conceive of all things, and which is a stark difference from who I am now, what an idiot that I am. But we are, as spiritual beings, are capable of conceiving all things and operating in dimensions that we don't even grip. We are heroes. How you know that you're a hero? If you've seen what I've seen and seen who we are, because no one listening is any different than me, than I am. I know who we are and what we look like. We are radiant, powerful beings who, because we chose and were chosen to come here as heroes, we come where angels don't fear to tread. We come and we hold this ground and we evolve in a way that's like a Nautilus commercial, no pain, no gain. But
okay, listen, this is the topic of the night, right? Being, you know, we're heroes, we're on a mission. You know, these are the types of things that kind of are what this whole deception is all about. I mean, that is like the bread and butter of it all. It's sad. It's sad. So let's continue. You know, the hero is just going to make someone feel good, right? I mean, I've heard this before. Yeah, I know. It's all about control. If they can tug at you, fill that ego up and make you feel special. Oh, you're a hero. You know, you've got a mission to fill. You got a mission to fulfill back there. You got something to do, you know, so you could see how, you know, this could feed that ego and make someone feel good. And as you know, that they have this big purpose given to them by God or whoever. It's sad. That's all.
Come here as heroes. We come where angels don't fear to tread. We come and we hold this ground and we evolve in a way that's like a Nautilus commercial, no pain, no gain. But we're here because we chose to come. We know the events that'll be played out, and we play them out so that the world that we live in has a value system in it that is spiritual in a physical, mental dimension.
There's just no way to talk.
Okay, so that was the first one. We've gone over her case before. I'm sorry I forgot her name, but
Talk about it because all of our words are imbued with physical reality. All of our thoughts and our conceptions are imbued with developed in a place in which there's time and space, and in which we can only come to an understanding of things gradually, and in which we can only walk across a floor by taking one step after another. And all of those things relate to the physical reality. And I was in a realm of reality in which there was no time, and in which there was no space, and in which there was no limitation that we experience in this reality. And so therefore, any words that I use, I ask you to please understand, don't relate to the physical words. To see does not mean to see with physical eyes. To hear and to know does not mean to know in the way that we know physically. And as I pulled up away from the scene on the sidewalk, again I was consciously aware of moving up and what was beneath me, which is physically impossible. And I saw this one little place on the sidewalk gets smaller and smaller, and a little valley in which it existed, and a little town, and a city, and pulled way, way up until a point to where I saw the earth as a single living organic whole. And this was wonderful. This was so wonderful to me that I was overcome by the beauty of it, because I could see and feel and beat with the same heart as every individual that was living on this planet, as every amoeba that was swimming in the ocean. I could feel and hear the notes of this wonderful, grand, universal song that enveloped the whole earth. And I saw that we as individuals, as human beings, as human spirits existing in bodies, have a unique creative capacity on this plane of existence. And what makes us creative and very powerful is really the tone of our hearts. Not what we do, not what we owned, not what we know, but really the tone of our hearts permeates the stuff of all physical existence. And I saw this in...
Okay. So, look, having a heart, being loving, being caring, doing the right thing is really important, obviously. Okay? The problem is how it's relayed as, like, it's everything. It's everything and anything, and in case closed. Everything's love, and it has this cascading impact, and blah, blah, blah. And you're going to hear this, and I'm going to counterclaim it with a thought. So let's go.
Existence. And I saw this and felt this immediately. And I felt that nothing, and I knew nothing exists without a purpose or without a note to sing in this grand, single, universal symphony. And I began to sing my note. I began to sing, really, I am. That's the only words I can use. But it wasn't I am in the sense of self. It was an I am one and of you. I love you. I am connected to all of you and in harmony with all of you. And this was an expression of love and an expression of the divinity of all creation. And I was accompanied now by a presence, as opposed to simply being devastated by this holy storm of light.
Devastated by this holy storm of light. That's kind of overpowering, isn't it? It's kind of strong. It's big. And manipulative. It has the capability of really doing some serious mind mess. All right? That's the best way I can put it. I'm sorry. But I wanted to say that, when she's talking about how, a loving act can carry from one person and then cascade and, go across the whole realm. Well, what does that make bad acts do? Because we certainly seem to be granted, most people at their core are good. They mean well. But what about when you have a exterior force, like that one may believe in, like the television, like the news, like governments, and then it's all negative, 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 negative. And that's consumed by the person, and it may bother them that day, may make them anxious, depressed, and that may have a cascading effect within their family, within their group. And then, you know, look, if it goes for love, it's got to go for, you know, hurt, pain, negativity, depressing topics. And it should cascade around the world just as much as love does, right? And it does seem to be that way, doesn't it? It does seem that, you know, people are generally, you know, at a very low level of consciousness and not in the best state of mind overall. And where does that come from? It comes from not just the controllers that we see, but not the controllers, the parasite controllers down here, the wannabe controllers. And then obviously outside the realm as well, that kind of sends down marching orders to make things go a certain way. All right, enough rambling, sorry.
Creation. And I was accompanied now by a presence as opposed to simply being devastated by this holy storm of light. And I was called to recount for the deeds of my life. And this recounting for the deeds of one's life is not like we would think at all in terms of this life. Because what was important were the choices that I made. And what was more important than just the choices that I made were my motivations and my intents and really the state of my heart in doing any single action. And I realized in this, because I experienced sort of in a holographic awareness that was rather instantaneous, how every action that one takes is like a stone cast in the water. And if it's loving, that stone, you know, is cast in the water, and the loving action goes out and touches the first person that it's intended for, and then it touches another person, and then it touches another person, because that person interacts with other people, and so on and so on. And every action has a reverberating effect upon every single one of us on the face of this planet. So if I had committed a loving action, it was like love upon light. A purely loving action was the most wonderful thing that I could ever have achieved in my life. This had more meaning than to have been a Rockefeller or President of the United States, or to have been, you know, a great scientist and to have invented something just incredible. If I had committed a truly pure and loving action, it had reverberated throughout the stuff of every individual on that planet.
Okay, so again, what I just mentioned, I'm sorry I jumped the gun on there. I mixed things up. I thought she mentioned it, but I guess I was half paying attention. But you get the point of what I was saying. Like, if love has this reverberating reaction, then obviously we've got to think about the other end of the spectrum too, and what seems to be overwhelmingly present here. You know, like bringing down the energy or the vibration, as New Agers like to say.
Committed a truly pure and loving action, it had reverberated throughout the stuff of every individual on that planet, and I felt that action reverberating through them and through myself, and I felt it in a way that is beyond what we can even feel ourselves on this plane of existence. So the significance of one's actions totally changed. What was not important was anything that I had, you know, owned or known intellectual, you know, there's a sense of intellectual pride, not that knowledge is bad, knowledge is good, but what was important was the purity and the motivation of every action.
Okay, so yeah, that's another one. It's the purity. That's actually well said, because that really is explains what's seen in the life review, as far as targeting, you know, the good side of things. So, you know, say you know, help a child tie his shoelaces. You know, you were worried about him tripping or something, him or her tripping. You help tie the shoelaces, you know, and out of nowhere, just decide to do it. Well, that would be one of the things that the systematic say. Remember this? A lot of these people say that they don't even remember those types of things. Like, these are just very, very, like, you know, just something they would never really remember or think of that would be like, you know, so amazing that, you know, that they're complimented for it. And then you obviously have the other end of the spectrum where if you did someone dirty, that, you know, you would live through, like, basically as if you were them receiving the bad deed that you did onto them. So that's the life review in a very, very short explanation. So I like how she described that at the end. It was spot on.
Then showed me how absolutely critical.
I'm sorry. I'm going to try to say the name of each person at the beginning. This is Raymond Kinman.
My purpose was in creation. Creation, by the way, I'm talking about me, but really I'm talking about you, the viewer, because this is about you. There is no way that the universe, that creation could possibly unfold without you fulfilling your purpose.
Uh-oh.
And I know a lot of people struggle.
You hear that? There's no way. There's no way. That right there, really, you know, someone listens to that, they immediately can, you know, get sucked into the, you know, like the importance, the ego thing. Like, you're just like a crucial part for this whole thing existing and functioning properly. Without you, it would be impossible. The entire place would shut down right now.
The creation,
I know I'm being a little smart ass. I'm sorry.
Could possibly unfold without you fulfilling your purpose. And I know a lot of people struggle with that. What's my purpose?
Exactly. What is my purpose? That's the question of the day. What is my purpose? What is my mission? Hello? We come here under the veil of forgetfulness. This is the nail in the coffin for everything, my friends. Everything. This is the nail in the coffin. This is the thing that should help people really start looking into this topic and taking it seriously, because it's crucial. We come here lifetime after lifetime, not remembering where we came from, why we are here, where we are going, you know, purpose, mission, you name it. Apparently, everyone likes to say that we have this mission, we have this purpose, there's something we have to do, but we don't freaking know what it is because we come here with the veil of forgetfulness. Now tell me, if we're here to grow, we're here to learn, how does that make any sense? If you come here, you know, how are you supposed to learn from mistakes too if you veil of forgetfulness? Lifetime after lifetime, how can you possibly right the wrongs and do what you're told to do and do that purpose and grow spiritually and evolve? Can't happen. Cannot happen if you don't remember the whole point of it. Just saying.
Fulfilling your purpose. And I know a lot of people struggle with that. What's my purpose? You know, why am I here? Sometimes it seems kind of pointless. Like, you know, I go to my stupid job and I got my stupid boss and I go home and I watch TV and there's got to be something more, right? And I I've heard lots of answers to that about purpose. I've heard minister after guru, after priest, after pastor, after teacher make the claim that our purpose here is to learn and grow and learn lessons and move to the next level. And then so that each time we do this, if there's such thing as reincarnation,
and there is,
I can't answer that. I can't answer that question. But to progress to the next level of spiritual awareness until we achieve spiritual perfection or something. But I was told what my purpose was and what your purpose is, and it had nothing to do with learning or growing or moving to the next level.
Well, just got to say this. Reincarnation is real. It's absolutely happening. The extent in which it's happening, how often, who knows, okay? But we know it's happening, and that is a huge red flag in conjunction with the veil of forgetfulness, okay? And then you compound the issue with past life regressions, life between lives, pre-birth memories. It clearly shows some sort of a level system. It shows some sort of a spiritual growth, phony agenda that is out to trick us. So you combine those things together, I'm making a pretty good case, right? I mean, we're all making a pretty good case with this. It's so blatantly obvious that it stings. It stings. Like, I wish I could sit down with him and talk with him and say, hey, well, what about all this? Like, if he's not sure about reincarnation, then he should, I don't know, who knows if he's still around or not, but, hey, check out Dr. Ian Stevenson's work, University of Virginia Division of Perceptual Studies. Check out Dr. Jim Tucker. Check out the work with past life regressions. And I just want to give a shout out to Dreams and Cosmic Trip. Happy birthday, brother. I hope you're doing well. Happy 34th. All right, let's roll.
It kind of, on the surface, it sounds like it makes sense, right? Because obviously, as human beings, we grow, we mature, we learn lessons, and we, hopefully, and we do. We get wiser as we get older. But so that kind of fits that idea. But I was told very clearly what our purpose is, and your purpose is to love.
Really? Really? That's what it boils down to? If everything is for the purpose of love, and love does exist in the astral realm, but the key thing to remember, and this is where the whole thing falls apart as well, is that there are clearly realms that are not love across all experiencer levels. Name one, pick one. There are good realms, are positive realms, negative realms, okay? So it is not all love. The whole purpose cannot be love because A, we see that it clearly doesn't function properly here, but we also know that it doesn't function properly with what they're saying, not me, in the astral realm and all the experiencer data. You combine it together, you have both. That's just the bottom line across everything. There's good and bad, love and evil, okay, or hate, whatever. Hell and heaven.
So that kind of fits that idea, but I was told very clearly what our purpose is, and your purpose is to love. It's that simple. Hard to pull off cleanly, but you are here to love. Mm-hmm. And I'm not just talking about the warm fuzzies. Most people, when you say the word love, they think warm fuzzies. Love is a far more multi-dimensional, complex thing than just the warm fuzzies. Mm-hmm. There, it's very obvious. Everything is made out of love. Made out of it. Like, this is love. This is an expression of God's love.
Hey, just got a question for you guys. Do you think a bomb that goes off and explodes like in like a daycare or like an adoption center in the Middle East somewhere is God's love? Just saying. I don't know. Just throwing it out there.
God's love. And if you don't like the word God, use whatever word you want.
I think the core key message is that maybe there's more than one.
Okay, sorry. This is Natalie Sudman. We've gone over some of her NDE in the past.
I think the core key message is that maybe there's more than one. That we're here for a reason. That there is purpose, and that our explorations of experience, even though they may not be fun to us here in the physical, are fun and exciting and valuable to our whole selves. And I think, too, that a really core message is that we create our own experience. We create our own reality.
We do.
We're infinitely creating ourselves and deepening ourselves as souls, as spirits, just as the universe or all that is, source, God, whatever you want to call it, is also an infinitely creative being and is always creating.
One of the first things...
Okay. So it's infinitely creating. We are obviously creator beings and do have a say in how we shape and accept our reality, but we're still at the mercy of some of the systems. We can, over time, or, at the drop of the hat, if we want to, be extremely uncomfortable, disconnect from all of it. But there are certain, remember, we're the away team coming in and playing on the home team's field. So, and, not just in the realm, but also is the vessel that we are placed into. So, it's a little, the advantage is mostly in their favor, but, molding the perception of reality and how you handle day to day is so important. So important, especially considering what we know about the whole energy extraction going on. Loosh, whatever you want to call it. Okay. That's a big part of it. It is. And there is to be negative all the time, to be in a angry, depressed, overly anxious, or whatever, any of those states aren't good. They're not healthy, and they only help feed the system. You're only doing a disservice to yourself when it's always that line of thinking. Now, like we can all sit here tonight and have some laughs and crap on the reality and crap on the experience a bit. But at the end of the day, when we all leave here tonight, there's still many hours where, we just gotta be as happy and as content as possible. And we all deserve that. Okay. So please don't forget that. Remember, we do help mold our own reality. And it's up to us which direction we choose to go. I try to stay as neutral as possible, but I want to be happy. I want to enjoy myself and enjoy nature or whatever. Okay, so the next case is Tom Leach.
Is also an infinitely creative being and is always creating.
One of the first things that happened to me is I was greeted on the other side. I was greeted with the words of, "Welcome, beloved one. You are blessed. You are honored." The first part of our reading this morning talks about that. If we had any understanding of how honored we are for being here, doing what we're doing, living the struggles that we live.
Honored.
And the joys. Think about a rock star, a world-famous scientist, a preacher that's known throughout the world. Something or someone that you look up to with such reverence, and that pales in comparison to what they feel for us and how honored we are in their eyes.
Honored in their eyes? And they just sit back, right? They just sit back. Can't kind of, send any adjustments down and, a couple cures. Maybe take out the parasites that run this crazy place. Oh, no. They are in awe of us. They love us. They're just amazed at how resilient and heroic we are. But can't help, right? They can't help. Because, a lot of people like to say, oh, but it's the non-interference clause. It's a non-interference clause. They can't interrupt. It's amazing how the good entities can't really interrupt and make, realm-wide massive changes for the better. Isn't it? It's always kind of funny. The good sure seems to peek through a lot. I mean, the bad sure seems to peek through quite a lot. And that's not to say that good entities don't exist, okay? I'm not saying that. Good spirits or whatever, okay? They do exist. But somebody's asleep at the switch. And if this whole group is apparently in awe of us, gotta ask yourself that question. Who's falling asleep at the switch? Sure as heck ain't me. Sure as heck ain't many of you out there.
To what they feel for us and how honored we are in their eyes.
Oh.
And if we could carry that with us here every day, how much different would it be? Love is not just a word. It's not something they insert into songs and poetry. But it is literally what we are made of, where we come from. And if you remember, we come from unconditional love. Why would we be here if it was easy to understand on this side? Why would we be so honored if it was easy here? So every time life gets challenging, just remember to love yourself, your friends, your family, your community, and your God.
And your guide. Just hear that one more time.
Your friends, your family, your community, and your God.
No guide. The rest of the list sounds pretty good. I could sign up with most of that. I will just say this. I think it's important to, and it can't be overstated enough, that the true path to kind of everything is like self-realization, connecting with the real you, your true essence. And, loving yourself is a big part of that. If you can't love yourself, it's going to be hard to move along and function properly. You do have to love yourself. So you can't care and love for others if you don't love yourself. So please, please love yourself. Take care of yourself. That's important. And self-realization will grow as a result of that. And the road will be a lot less bumpier, I promise.
Your friends, your family, your community, and your God.
And it was just...
Okay, so this near-death experience is Sharon Millman. Sharon Millman.
all of this information was coming to me, and and it was like seeing these scientists with these chalkboards that are 10 miles long, and they have these equations that are 10 miles long to explain one little theory. That's not how it is. God was saying that's too complicated. Everybody, you guys make everything so complicated, and we do. It's really not that complicated. It's like God took this with this, put it together, and there you have it. It's the little things that you do. It's the little things, the loving things, or the not so loving things. It's not these grand, great, big, humongous things that people think they have to do in order to earn your way into heaven, because you can't earn your way into heaven no matter what you do, for one. And for two, it's the little things.
Again, the NDEers say this, it's the little things. It's the little things. It's the little things that the system likes to just be weird about and say, oh, that, oh my God, you petted a duck's head when you were 6 years old, and then you gave it a cracker. Oh my God, that was the best thing you ever did in your entire life. I mean, look, I wish I could say I was joking, but it is weird stuff like that seems to pop up. All right. So yeah, she's right. Again, the little things, kind of like what I think we talked about in the first case.
For one, and for two, it's the little things. It's the smile you gave to someone whose life was really a mess, the hand on the shoulder. It's the sharing your toys when you were little. It's the here, you lost your sweater and you're cold, here's my sweater. Little things you don't think would matter at all. That's the stuff that matters. I've got a high school education. I've got a year of trade school, beauty college. I'm not a theologian. I'm not a scientist. I'm not, I'm just a country bumpkin that live in West Virginia, and I'm a housewife. I take care of my kids and my grandkids, and I don't have any knowledge about anything really. And so I'm getting all this huge knowledge, and I'm just blown away. I'm just like, wow, God, you're so awesome. I just kept saying, you're so awesome, God. I tell people about the vibrations. Heaven is moving at such a fast vibration. It is so high. It is so heavenly. Even though it's right here. You're not going way up in the sky, in the clouds, sitting on a big cloud, playing silver harp or whatever. That's not... I didn't go up and I didn't go down. I moved sideways, and so what taught me that heaven is no further away than your own backyard. It's no further away, and you can have heaven right here, right now. It's just a matter of your perception.
The sense of love was...
See, I think she's right, spot on. I think it's just around us. It's not like, up in the heavens or this or that. I mean, it's parallel with this reality. It's just around us, because there's all sorts of entities residing around us right now. There's all sorts of life all around us. Thank you so much, AA, for the $10 super chat. It says, thanks, FC, another great show. Thanks so much. Really appreciate that, AA. Good to see you.
Your perception.
The sense of love was...
Okay, sorry. This is case, let's see, we're Ingrid Honkala. Honkala. Okay, I'm going to type that.
Such that nothing else was needed. And that was the teaching I got from the very beginning. Everything is going to be okay. And although I couldn't understand that many times, how this can be okay, that was always the teaching. Everything is happening for a reason, and everything is following a path of perfection. We just don't know this, because we're just living and understanding a very little piece of the picture. We don't know what anything is for. And later in my life,
We don't know what anything's for. We're left in the dark. I mean, that's a good point, right? We're all connected and you know, love and light and blah, blah, blah.
we just don't know this, because we're just living and understanding a very little piece of the picture. We don't know what anything is for. And later in my life, I learned that the purpose of this was the beings of light wanted to show me that home was not a place. Home was a state of being. Home, heaven, is here and now.
Home is really not here. It's not. It's home is temporarily here. Okay? Temporary. But when we leave here, at the time of natural death, there is a fake home, okay, which we need to transcend through sovereignty, through a direction of sovereignty and liberation and non-interference, no interruption whatsoever, no interference with any sort of outside being, entity, force, whatever you want to call it, nothing. The realm itself. That's the key thing. That's the key thing that I keep talking about. We just have to stand our ground and question things, because the way they come at us, it's immediate. It's immediate. And we have to stand our ground and just use our intention as creator beings and boom, get on out of here. That's what it's all about. You know, what is wrong? I mean, I just want to put it out there for anyone who's on the fence with this information, or maybe even just doesn't believe it. I just say this. Nobody has to believe a word I say. I'm not here to, I'm here to show people and kind of convince people, but I'm not, gonna grovel or anything like that. It's just, this is the one thing, no matter what you believe, what is the issue with just taking a little bit of time for yourself when you leave here? That's all. Just take a little time. You don't have to go racing with entities and love people, deceased loved ones you think are the real ones, or God, or Jesus, or Buddha, Muhammad, whoever. All right. And sorry, that didn't really come off too well. I apologize.
There was a time in my life when I would ask them, what can I do or say to these people that don't believe? They said to me something really beautiful. They said to me, do or say nothing. The light of your awareness is all they need. That is not the things we go saying. It's the way we are. It's who we are. Be the light. Be that awareness, and with that you're doing the work. And that's what I did. The time to talk will come. And I say to people, it's like when you're in a room that is full of furniture, like here now there's furniture everywhere, but if the light is on, get what? You don't trip. You know where to go. I know where the door is. I know where everything is. But what happens when you turn off the light? Now all the things in the room become obstacles. Everything becomes a challenge. But what is the purpose of those challenges? To bring you back, to turn on that light for yourself.
And to bring it back. We don't want to come back. That's for sure.
So all this is put in our path for us to go back through our own experience, through our own perception, to the state of knowing, to the state of, oh, I am now remembering who I truly am.
Look, it all sounds good. Don't get me wrong, okay? It sounds great that we can be all-knowing, connect with ourselves, feel like we're at home. Again, just question it. Just question it. That's all I'm saying. Because the alternative is possibly coming back here, or more than likely, at least being, at a minimum, still being a cog in the wheel of the Matrix. And that's the difficult part. It's like too many unknowns. Full assertion of yourself is so important, my friends.
So that's why the human experience is one of the most amazing ones, because it brings so much contrast that we can see the other side.
As long as you're in creation, you're never truly going to know God. You'll have aspects.
Okay. This case is Bill McDonald. Bill McDonald.
Know God. You'll have aspects. You'll have some beautiful things, light, love, things. But if you don't experience God looking in the mirror, you never will. God's there. It's just there in all of us. But I don't try to convert anybody. You know what? You don't believe in the afterlife, it doesn't make any difference. The afterlife believes in you. So just wait long enough, right? When you pass over, the only thing that's going to be important is not who loved you, because that could be influenced by, you see movie stars people love, and, if you give money to people, help people. No, it's not who loves you. It's who did you love? And who did you love secretly? Who did you send prayers to that don't even know? What enemy did you love from afar? It's who we love that defines us, not who loves us. So there's people out there that read St. Francis of Assisi's prayer, which you guys are all familiar with, and I can only paraphrase it, but it's really a beautiful thing about it's not to be understood, it's to understand, it's not to get, it's to give. It's not to be loved, it's to love. That really is the essence of why we're here. Be like a child. Learn to love what you do. Love where you're at, where you live, who you're with. Love and grow.
Okay. All right. So we are at a little over the 1 hour mark, and I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break, my friends, and I will be right back. Just would like to, again, give a big thank you to AA for the very kind super chat. Thank you so much. And I also wanted to thank Ben for a tip that was made, I believe, today sometime for $10 on Stream Elements. Thank you so much. It's very kind of you. And we will be right back, my friends. Thank you for your patience. See you shortly. Thank you for your patience. We are back, ready to go. I just want to let you know that when you see me go between the thumbnail that you see in front of you and the main screen and the video, it's just to cut off potential copyright issues. Okay, so that's the reason I'm doing it. There aren't many, but there's a couple, so just want to play it on the safe side just in case there's some copyrighted stock footage being played. But it went through the player, but the checks, but still just want to play it safe on those. Okay, so we are moving along to the next case, and let's see. Actually, this is probably David Bennet, I believe. Okay, there we go.
And where you're at, you know, where you live, who you're with, love and grow.
And I finally have, as I proceeded through this, I finally reached a point where the light itself, this infinite light, all these fragments, in unison spoke. And I have to realize, when this spoke to me, I perceived this light, this unity of consciousness. I perceived it as God. And what else could it be? And it spoke to me and it said, this is not your time. You must return. And I said, no way. I'm not going back there. Because I knew my body was broken. I knew that what I'd gone through in life was just was rough. It was hard. And I didn't want to go back to that. And the light spoke one more time and said, you must return. You have a purpose. And boy, I'll tell you, it was the most loving voice. It just resonated. It had a parental kind of resonance to it. But when I heard that word, you have a purpose, when I heard purpose, that just resonated through my being. And when you're in that light, and when you're in your light body, your consciousness is so much more. You're connected to everything that ever was and anything that ever will be. And so you have this expanded consciousness. And that word purpose, when it resonated through my being, I understood it. And it was so simple, and it was so efficient, that I couldn't do anything but accept it. With that intense life review and that...
Sounds terrible.
exposure to that love, I could suddenly accept who I was. I was 26, 27 years old at the time, and I could accept who I was. That was a pretty big thing for me. I knew I had work to do on myself, but I could accept this is who I am right here, right now, but I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to be a better person. And I could be tolerant of other people. That was a foreign concept up until that moment. I could be tolerant of other people and when they cross my path. Doesn't mean that I have to agree with maybe what's going on, but I could be tolerant that was their path, and I can go in my own direction, follow my own path. And also I came to understand a truth that's deeper than factual truth that my old engineer brain used to love, but a truth that resonates whenever my heart hears it. My heart would sing when I hear my truth, my personal truth.
So I had these beings there who were just loving me, just loving, seeing me for everything I had been, everything that I am. And then they started to tell me about humanity and why we're here and why we play this game.
This one gets a little bothersome, not gonna lie. Why we play this game?
About humanity and why we're here and why we play this game. At some point we all thought this would be fun. It's like going to the fun house. It's like going to the amusement park. We thought, wow, wouldn't it be fun to forget who we are?
Oh my God, wouldn't it be so fun? We could forget who we are. Be so cool. Yeah, no, I mean, look, this is a possibility. This is a possibility. I'm not discounting that it's appealing to eternal beings. Okay, but everything in my gut says that, if, it could have been set up a way, way different, scenario. You don't have to have memory wipe. You don't have to have all this parasitical behavior, like, to the hills. You don't have to have, like, such a weak and vulnerable body. You don't have to break bones easily, get in pain. The whole mind the fragmented mind issue. So it's, spare me. Okay. So it may be appealing, but it's still, in my very strong opinion, a trap through and through. Because yes, we do consent to come here initially, but we get lost lifetime after lifetime. That's the key thing, is because they have the veil of forgetfulness, it's very, very easy to get lost in this reality and take it seriously.
Wouldn't it be fun to forget who we are? Wouldn't it be fun to pretend that we're all separate and we're all different?
Look at her. Wouldn't
it be fun to be scared?
Oh my God.
We all love to be scared. We go to the fun house.
Wouldn't it be great if we could just bomb a city and cause pain and suffering? Wouldn't it be great? You see how it sounds good, coming enthusiastically and animated, when there's very, very limited examples given. But, for us, obviously, wouldn't it be fun to forget? No, it's not fun to forget. Is it fun to be scared? No, it's not fun to be scared. Again, and I'll say, isn't it fun to bomb cities? Isn't it fun? Isn't famine fun? Genocide fun? See what I'm saying? There's always, like, that's the New Age veil right over there. Right over there. The lack of acknowledgement for the endless list of atrocities that go on here. So, yeah, it may be appealing when we first get here to forget that, we have this eternal essence within us that, we know we cannot, die in the long run. We just can't. So that is probably appealing to us. It's the way the whole place is set up. And you can see how, we can kind of get lured into this, because you don't know what pain is. You don't know what suffering is. You don't know what a human body is like. You don't know what Earth is like. So you have no reference point. All you have a reference point for is what you've experienced as an eternal being up till that point. That's it. That's it. So you can see how it's very easy to get sucked in here and lose yourself, and for who knows how many freaking lifetimes.
To be scared. We all love to be scared. We go to the fun house. We get on roller coasters. We look outside. The world is in chaos.
Oh, you bet.
How do we do this? Why did we do this? Well, one of the reasons was we thought it'd be fun to be scared.
Oh my God.
And because we forgot who we are. It showed me the golden age of humanity that we are in the process of creating. We are together with every other being around the world. We are now in the process of creating heaven on earth.
We're this
of
close.
Creating the golden age. And it's just like in that song. It's where people are free to be who they are, and they don't have to wear masks. They can
That's the one I was waiting for. That one didn't age too well, did it?
It's where people are free to be who they are, and they don't have to wear masks.
Isn't that hilarious? That one did not age well at all. Dan, come on. No, that's too far. Come on.
They can.
Don't say that. It's enough.
It's where people are free to be who they are, and they don't have to wear masks. They can express the joy and the love in
One more
masks. They can. It's where people are free to be who they are, and they don't have to wear masks. They can express the joy and the love inside them freely, where nobody judges.
Sorry, guys.
We're going to get there. We're working on it.
Completely. And when I said to him, I know what's going on, I know that I've died, he said, yes, that's true, but you are not going to be staying here because it isn't time for you to be here yet. And
yeah, and that was before masks were cool. You know, that was before masks were in the in thing. That testimony, I think, I don't know when it was from. I think like maybe 9-10 years ago. So that's what I'm saying. It did not age well at all.
he said, yes, that's true, but you are not going to be staying here because it isn't time for you to be here yet. And I must tell you that when we talked, we did not move our mouths. I can remember that I only had to have the impulse that contained the things that I wanted to say. And he immediately would get that and answer me. And even though he was not moving his mouth when he talked with me, I could hear the sound of his voice in my inner ear. I know what he sounded like. So it was a mental transmission, and yet I could hear what he sounded like. For a long, long time, I could remember the sound of his voice. And I said to him again then, everything that has happened to me since I crossed over is so beautiful. Everything is so perfect. What about my sins? And he said,
oh, so, you know, volunteering, what about my sins? You know, that's just like putting yourself up to the system on a platter, because there's expectations there. You know, what about my sins? Well, the realm's gonna be like, oh, this is gonna be an easy one tonight. And they're gonna target her point blank.
what about my sins? And he said, there are no sins, not the way you think of them on earth. He said, the only thing that has any meaning here is what you think. And then he asked me a question. He said, what is in your heart? And in some incredible way that I don't understand at all, I was enabled to look deeply inside myself, really into the very core of me, into my essence. And I saw that what was there was love and nothing else.
God.
My core was perfect love, loving perfection.
No, see, look, this is part of the realm manipulation. No doubt about it. I mean, we all know this, right? But for those who are new, this is the love bomb is a frequency. It is a emitting frequency that is picked up by near-death experiencers, by DMT and ayahuasca and various psychedelic breakthrough experiences who basically have a death, like an NDE type experience, almost, very close. They align with data points very, very closely with the same characteristics. And the point is this is something that is taking advantage of us. And we know nothing about it. We know nothing about it. We come here again under the veil of forgetfulness. We go throughout our lives with very limited perception. Then when we pass or have some sort of experience like that, it feels good, seems right. And, a lot of us, or a lot of people out there, interpret it as God, that love is the answer and that God is love and that all these outer realms are love, when that is just simply not the case.
I had complete love and acceptance for everything. I saw my own gentleness, tenderness, harmlessness. I simply was perfect and loving. And I said to him, of course. And I had the feeling that I was connecting with knowledge that I had known before. And I wondered, how on earth did I ever forget anything that important? I have known that. And then I said, can you tell me what everything is all about? The whole world, everything. And he said, yes. And he told me, and it took maybe 3 sentences at the most. It was so simple. I understood that immediately. I had total comprehension of what he was saying to me. And I remember again saying to him, of course. And it was that feeling again of reconnecting with knowledge that I had once had and wondering how on earth did I forget that?
How on earth did I forget that? Well, first off, let's be very clear. Remember, not all knowing, okay? Not all knowing. She's consulting with something she believes to be a God-like entity, okay? And information is coming to her, given to her, okay? That is a big issue, okay? She's under an illusion of what she's dealing with.
And it was that feeling again of reconnecting with knowledge that I had once had and wondering how on earth did I forget that?
Because you have a human body. That's why. Because you come under the veil of forgetfulness. And the system knows damn well that when you leave here, that you're opened up, you're wide open and capable of a much better discernment. But if they can get you really quick, while you're vulnerable, while you're just in that transition phase of crossing over, they got you. They got you. If you consent to go along to get along with the system, you're cooked. You're going to fall right into their hands. And that's what we keep trying to show over and over and over on the channel here together. It's so, so important. It can't be stated enough that one opportune moment is our biggest downfall, lifetime after lifetime, which leads to the loop of reincarnation.
This line.
Okay, this NDE is Kimberly Clark Sharp. The last NDE was Jayne Smith.
It is what I call God. I'm more comfortable saying my creator, but there are no words. I have a complete absence of any kind of language. I don't even try. The language comes from my heart, and it speaks well. It's just that no one else can understand it. But this love was personal. And we communicated in a form of math and music, and I'm not skilled in either. When skeptics say, oh, you get what you expect. No. I wasn't expecting anything. And math and music was perfect communication. I asked questions any fool would ask God.
Asked. So again, what is it? You know, we hear again, this has to keep being pointed out. Asked. So if you're asking, that implies you're not all knowing. That implies that you are not all knowing. And that's a key thing to get across, because so many claim they're all knowing, but she is asking who she perceives to be God, you know, the obvious questions.
I asked questions any fool would ask God. I asked many questions. For instance, why are we here? And I was told pretty much we banged on the door for this life. Our souls, it sounds so philosophical, but our souls, or whatever you want to call it, insisted on being born. And that it was something we really wanted a lot. I asked about pain and suffering in my own way, and the answer was, sadly, that's the way back to God. I mean, we in our fleshly existence, without some stress, kind of forget where we're from, and then there was something about
just stress.
The answer was, sadly, that's the way back to God. I mean, we in our fleshly existence, without some stress, kind of forget where we're from, and
forget where we're from because of stress. No, it doesn't just happen to do with this, the life script, pre-birth planning, being born with inherent limitations and perception, major perception weaknesses that come with the human body. And then, complete tyranny across the realm that you're born into, and that your parents and your parents were all born into, with intergenerational indoctrination and trauma. Wow. And the veil of forgetfulness. I mean, so many things. Veil of forgetfulness, lifetime after lifetime. We are completely unaware where we came from, why we're here, where we're going. All major issues.
Without some stress, kind of forget where we're from, and then there was something about free will, and I'm not a theologian. This had nothing to do with religion. It had to do with life and love. But what I would most like to convey is that although I was asking, immensely profound questions, I thought, what I was getting back were, I was remembering. It wasn't new information. It was like, oh yeah. It was fantastic.
I'm asked why bad things happen. I don't know why bad things happen. I can tell you what I learned from my experience. And I learned that every challenge that I had gone through and every challenge that I will go through are learning opportunities. And my learning opportunities, what I came here to learn, was forgiveness and self-love. I feel like we've all felt down at times. We've all felt unwanted. We've all felt unworthy, and bad things happen. We experience loss. We experience traumatic events. And what I was shown when I was home and having my experience is there is a purpose, there is a reason for everything, and we have a soul contract. And we come into this life with lessons that we are to learn. And that's so that we can evolve our souls. That's so that...
All right, so again, souls learning, evolving, that's why we're here. On and on and on. Everything crosses over with all the other experiencers that have absolutely nothing to do with near-death experiencers, absolutely nothing to do with, psychedelic trip reports and pre-birth memories, life between lives. I mean, all these things mixed together and keep parroting the same things, but they're different topics. And they all pull together again to show this unbelievable deception we're dealing with. Earth is not a school. The only school class we should be attending is that we need to figure out that we need to liberate ourselves. That's it. Through sovereignty.
To learn. And that's so that we can evolve our souls. That's so that we can raise ourselves and our vibrations higher, so we can take a step higher towards God or towards the higher source. And my life lessons and what I contracted for in this life was to learn forgiveness and learn self-love. And I also was shown that we've all done bad things. We've all had past lives where we have not been so kind and compassionate. And
that's a big statement right there. And it's 100% accurate how this system works. So let's hear it one more time.
And what I contracted for in this life was to learn forgiveness and learn.
Okay. Just think about if any of you have gone through or were present for the live streams with the going cover to cover with Michael Newton's books. This is how it's set up. It's set up that, this incarnation, you've got to work on this. But usually it can take many incarnations for you to, let's just say, work on forgiveness. There was one case I remember with Newton that there was 5,000 lifetimes just working on empathy alone. Just empathy. Okay? And there are other cases, other one has to work on forgiveness like she does. And you see how this is how the trickery works. Lifetime after lifetime, forgetting, being veiled, given a new life script, having this burden of karma and sinning that we need to atone for, no matter how good or how bad we were. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. This is why it's so convoluted.
Learn self-love. And I also was shown that we've all done bad things. We've all had past lives where we have not been so kind and compassionate and caring. I was shown that. So I know in a past life that maybe I was a murderer, or maybe I was a thief, or maybe I did something bad, but I've evolved. And every life that you come into and you learn a lesson, you're evolving your soul, you're evolving your spirit.
That's total bull. Total bull. The only thing you need to evolve to is for self-realization. Full, unadulterated self-realization that you are the one in control of your destiny, not any outside force. Look, I'm a former Buddhist, okay? Studied Buddhism, Hinduism, Gnosticism. What's the overarching theme throughout that kind of pulls together with these things? Liberation. Liberation. It's very, very clear. But the problem is they twist it because they wrench that karma in there. That karma that you need to answer to some entity that you have no idea about. You have no clue who these things are. And then boom, at the time of death, they come a knocking. And if you go along with your deceased loved ones or Jesus or Buddha or Muhammad through the tunnel to the white light to the life review, that's consent. That's you allowing yourself to go forward and consent to interact with these things. And then you get hit with the love bomb. Good luck. Good luck. You can't, again, the love bomb is the ultimate drug. It's the ultimate frequency that is being emitted. And can't say this enough. Sovereignty and liberation is the safest route. And, if you want to change your mind down the road, of course you can, but you can't change your mind if, consent is key to everything. If intention, works exactly how we see it, you know, your intention and creator being abilities create your reality around you. If you've ever had a chance to leave your body, you would know that you can create instantly. You can move freely instantly. You can go in and out of different realms instantly. On command. You can make a good situation turn into, you know, a flower garden with, you know, rainbows and unicorns and butterflies and everything in between. That's how powerful we are. So who's to say that all these beings that are trying to get us to go with them at the time of death, and because they are such in a hurry, they're in such a rush to get us to go with them, that maybe, just maybe, they don't have our best interests at heart. This is where the rubber meets the road, my friends. You're going to stick up for yourself and see how things work out? Or are you just going to go along with some hierarchical system that you know nothing about because of the veil of forgetfulness? You have no clue. I have no clue. And I'm not risking it. That's all I say on this channel. Why risk it? Why take a chance? Just stand up for yourself. That can't hurt, right? No matter what you believe, it can't hurt. So please, 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 stick up for yourself.
Soul, you're evolving your spirit.
And that's what we're...
Okay, this next case, sorry for the pause again, my friends. Okay, this next case is Tami Close.
What we're here to do is to remember who we really are. And that essence of truth that, you know, the God, the spirit that we are in us, you know, the soul that came here to experience this tremendous blissful state of being. And that what I am learning from it and what I have learned from it is no matter what anybody says out there, that is not the truth. The truth exists within us, and that we get those messages within us to make decisions. And these are the, you know, within our soul, it's the only decision maker that we should refer to. It's really the captain of our ship, so to speak. And I mean, we can ask people, you know, their opinions, but it's really us to go back to our origins and say, what do you think here? What's the best choice? What's the best path? So I wanted to share.
What do you think here? What's the best path? Ask questions.
What's the best path? So I wanted to share this experience with you and learn, and still learning. As like I said, you know, it's been hovering a lot, but now it's within my being. Now it's saying, remember, you know the truth. Remember, because it is a remembering from us. There isn't anything we have to learn. There isn't anything we have to know. It's just a recalling, a remembering. The only way we're going to do that is to do the processes to uncover those things.
Hear that?
There isn't anything we have to know. It's just a recalling, a remembering.
There isn't anything we have to know. Don't worry about the memory issue. Nothing to nothing to recall. It just instantly comes. With citations, with interference from entities, again, we know nothing about. It's not like, you know, like you leave here and you're just instantly in the void. You may be in a waiting room that is void-like, but you just got out of your body and then boom, it's interference. Interference. Most likely, highly likely, what's going to happen is on your deathbed visions and visitations will happen prior to your death. Sometimes months, sometimes actually out as far out as a year. 6 months, 3 months, couple months, you start getting all these premonitions, visits from your deceased loved ones. And then as you're on your deathbed, they say, oh, well, you're about to go. You got to come with us to the light. You got to come down the tunnel with us. So you're being told what to do. You're being ordered what to do under the guise of your loved ones, or at least who you perceive to be your loved ones. Remember, in the astral, if I die tomorrow and you're on your deathbed, let's just say 5-10 years from tomorrow after I die, okay? And if I want to show up as your mama or your daddy, I can do it. And who's to say you would know the difference? Because that's how powerful we are. Remember, we're creator beings. I can cloak myself and look exactly like you want me to look and claim that I'm your mama, your dada. See what I'm saying? See what the issue is here? This is how crazy it is. As creator beings, we have the ability to do a lot of different things. And it's almost limitless. So just be careful, because we don't know who we're dealing with when we cross over. And that's the biggest problem. I know I keep repeating myself, but can't be stated enough, really.
Like I said, it's been hovering a lot, but now it's within my being. Now it's saying, remember, you know the truth. Remember, because it is a remembering from us. There isn't anything we have to learn. There isn't anything we have to know. It's just a recalling, a remembering. The only way we're going to do that is to do the processes to uncover those things, to release the things that don't serve us anymore, so that the light of who we truly are is shown very brightly. And it's just an amazing journey. So now I have that experience of the near-death experience of that state of being, because I do know circumstances don't matter, only state of being matters. That's all that matters. It is the vibratory tone that exists within us that is calling forth to say, remember, you are love and light. And no matter what somebody says, no matter what numbers are being said, that is not the truth. So just wanted to give you that information, so that may help you to really go inside. Always communicate with your own soul, who knows you best, who knows the decisions that will bring about your highest good. And that's really the only person, your own CEO, to refer to.
That is great advice. Your own essence is who you should be referring to. This is the problem. It's such great advice, but the problem is when you have a physical vessel, you're prone to mistakes. You're prone for errors in perception. You're prone to outside interference too. Sometimes knowingly, most times unknowingly. And again, when you leave here, it is a full frontal assault on your sovereignty. And it's these entities, this AI system, whatever the heck is going on, is set up and designed in a way to get you to make a decision and give your free will decision making to it. Use your intention as creator being abilities to acknowledge it, to go with it, and then you go to that light. Good luck. Good luck. It's a love bomb. That's the problem. It's like a drug. It's a euphoria, overwhelming euphoric experience. And this is where things get dicey. So seriously, my friends, please be careful. I know there's a lot of new listeners that came to today's stream, and I just want to welcome everybody and really please just hear what's being said today and just give it some consideration. I'm not asking anyone to believe in anything. I'm just asking for you to give the information a chance and consider that, maybe a lot of the information that we've been fed out there in the spiritual and truth areas of the internet didn't have our best interests at heart. And this comes from someone who's listened to countless NDEs, trip reports, breakthrough trip reports of many different types, and life between lives, past life regressions, pre-birth memories, shared death experiences, and I'm sure I'm missing a bunch, but you get the point. You know, just trust me that, you know, just take the time. Don't trust me, actually. Don't trust me. I'm sorry. Take the time to learn some of the material, and please, please have your heart in sovereignty. That's all. Give yourself some time when you're about to cross over. That's all. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, we're reaching the second hour right now. I'm going to take a short break. Might be less than 5 minutes this time, so hang in there with me. I'll see you shortly, and it's great to see you all again, and thank you for your patience. Be right back. Sorry about the delay there, my friends. Come right back here. That took a lot longer than I expected. I apologize. I was hoping to come back earlier, not later. Okay, so next case is Sharon Millman, or Milliman. So let's get into it.
The small things. It's the little things that we do. And if we do it with love, it doesn't matter whether you're taking out the trash or cooking dinner for your family or picking up cigarette butts on the side of the road. It doesn't.
Look, I take out the garbage every week with love. Just want to let you know. And I pick up cigarette butts with love in my heart.
Or picking up cigarette butts on the side of the road. It doesn't matter what you do. If you do it with love, that is so huge. So huge. And that's the kind of things that you see in a life review. It's the hand on the shoulder for someone who needs it. Giving money to the poor person that's standing on the street. You don't know who they are. It's listening to someone who needs to be, just needs a friend. It's those little things. Sharing your toys when you were little. Those things are what's the most important thing, and those are huge to God. And it's helping one person at a time. Like you walk outside and you smile at someone. That smile can travel around the world in one day. And the lives that you touch, it's enormous, it's huge. And you may not think that you're touching lives, but you're touching lives all over. You're moving mountains and you are changing the world. Even if you don't think you are, you really are, because that's what's important to God. And that's what you'll see in your life review. And it's just, what doesn't matter what you do it with love, and you're going to be just fine. And the beauty on the other side, that love on the other side, the acceptance, it was huge, absolutely huge. And it changed my life completely. When I came back, I was not the same person. And I try to see people the way God does, because He doesn't see the outer. He sees what's in here, and what's in here is He sees you as perfect. He doesn't see humanly flaws and things like that, because He made you, and He knows you, and He knows your heart, and that's what's so important. He's the healer of hearts. He's the reader of hearts, and He doesn't see. He loves us. Even though we are imperfect beings, He loves us perfectly, and He sees us that way. And that was huge for me, because I grew up my parents were wonderful to me, but as I was going out into the world taught me that I was not pretty, I was too heavy, no matter what I did, it wasn't good enough. People wanted more. And God was teaching me that He doesn't see us that way. And His love made me feel perfect. It made me feel accepted and cherished for the first time in my life.
See, how powerful could that be? It made me feel
perfect. It made me feel accepted.
Perfect, accepted.
And cherished for the first time in my life.
And cherished for the first time in her life. Now, if that's not powerful, I don't know what is. Seriously. For that to be able to happen is big. And you can see how something like that can be manipulated. Sorry for the repeating the words there, but it's the truth. You can see how easily someone can be manipulated if they're feeling good for the first time in their life and they're not even in their body. And they're dealing with who they perceive is God.
Perfect. It made me feel accepted and cherished for the first time in my life.
And the next thing I knew, He floated up next to me. It's like I was coming this way and He came right here. And we were both floating in this space. And it was so wonderful. It was so loving and calm and peaceful. It was wonderful. And He looked down at me, and He had a clipboard, and He looked like he was in street clothes, like a vest, sweater, and just kind of a regular kind of guy. And I knew him as Uncle. And I remember thinking, I don't have an uncle that looks like him. And he looked down at me.
I don't have an uncle that looked like him.
I don't have an uncle that looks like him. And he looked down at me and he said, you're not supposed to be here. It's not time for you to be here. And I remember looking up at him and saying, but I want to be here.
Entry denied.
And I had no conscious thoughts of where I'd come from or anything. I mean, it wasn't a matter of getting away or in lieu of. It was just, with all my heart, I wanted to be there.
Isn't that kind of scary? Just hear what she said again.
But I want to be here. And I had no conscious thoughts of where I'd come from.
I had no conscious thoughts of where I came from. That's pretty crazy. Not cuckoo, but that's just very disturbing. Flat out disturbing.
But I want to be here. And I had no conscious thoughts of where I'd come from or anything. I mean, it wasn't a matter of getting away or in lieu of. It was just, with all my heart, I wanted to be there. I wanted to come. I wanted to go home. And I was happy. And he took a pause, and he kind of, you could see him thinking about something and deciding whether to say something next. And with that, my memory, there was a picture placed in my head of a memory of my original agreement of why I had come to Earth to begin with.
Agreement. Again, these are, we can call them, I don't like the term soul contracts, but whatever you want to call them. There are agreements made, life scripts, developed with exterior entities chirping in your ear, trying to tell you what to do. Not cool. Not cool.
And with that, my memory, there was a picture placed in my head of a memory of my original agreement of why I had come to Earth to begin with.
Oh, so, let's just say this, that, regardless of who she thinks she's dealing with, the agreement was inserted into her head. Inserted. Okay? Again, I thought we were all knowing. What happened? Thought we're all knowing. Why do we need things inserted and thrown in our face? And why can't you renege on the agreement?
My original agreement placed in my head of a memory of my original agreement of why I had come to Earth to begin with. And it was like I remembered and I went, oh, right. I think one of the things that I've thought about greatly.
And I just want to say before she continues, I think there's a lot of validity to what she's saying as far as that there was an agreement made. I think we all made agreements prior to this incarnation, and the last incarnation, and the previous incarnation, leading all the way back to when we, knocked on the astral door and said, hey, what the heck's going on with this Earth place? What's going on behind those doors? I want to know. Well, this is what you get. And then the fine print is ignored, just like all the other terms of service, and boom.
I remembered and I went, oh, right. I think one of the things that I've thought about greatly is that one of the things that bothers me so tremendously about the metaphysical movement, in lieu of my experience, and in lieu of what I was shown, which I think, if there's any message that I can give, it's not about meditating and leaving your body and taking your light being out of this earth. Indeed.
Oh, so, one of the few things that you can utilize while you're here to help you get out of your body? No. It's not about that. Don't do that. Don't do something that can help you achieve, enhanced states of consciousness and leave your body. Wouldn't want to do that now, right? I mean, I'm just saying. That's what we're hearing. Come on.
And taking
exactly 15-foot Jesus. Contracts. Con. They're all cons.
Your light being out of this earth. Indeed not. It is about bringing the light into this earth. Stay here. Be an anchor. Let the light come in through you into this world. Don't abandon this world. We need you.
No, I say abandon it. Abandon it. Leave it like a fart in the wind. Run for your life. Run for your sovereignty. No. It is clear. Do you realize how long the New Age movement has technically been going on? Since the late 1800s. Since the late 1800s, this has been going on. It's, of course, picked up more steam in the mid 1900s, but, late 1900s is when it really picked up steam. But the point is, it's been around here for a long time. If things haven't changed yet, think about all the peace meditations and all these things that have been going on. Think about, the Buddhists, the Hindus, and all the different sects of all of those who meditate for world peace and the betterness of society. And where are we? Where are we? It's not getting better. If anything, it's getting worse. The whole new earth thing. Oh, the new earth is coming. It's coming. Just keep waiting. Just keep waiting. Just like Jesus. Don't take out the garbage tonight because Jesus might come. Just keep waiting. Everything is about the Savior programming. Everything is about trying to get us to buy into something exterior to us that it's on its way. It's not here yet. It has your best interest at heart. But it hasn't quite made it. You see what I'm saying, my friends? This is where we're at. Things are not getting better here. And there is let me just be very clear. There is no record whatsoever of a period of time in Earth where things are documented thoroughly with peacetime. It just does not exist. Now, are there little pockets here and there? Sure. But what always ends up happening? Infiltration, destruction, indigenous, complete assault on small communities, indigenous people, forcing capitalism, materialism, socialism, communism, whatever you want to call it. There's all different types of little things, but they all funnel back into the same freaking system. And if things were improving, we would have seen it by now. It can't be said enough that we have all been taken for a ride, lifetime after lifetime. And I don't care. Again, go look at the records. Go look. Someone come to me and say, oh, there was, 500 or 1,000 years of peacetime where everyone across the realm was just in amazing spirits, and that everyone looked out for themselves. It was community-based. Everything was good. There wasn't some parasitical group of entities, or dare I say it, people, whatever, looking to slaughter you because you wouldn't go along with their agenda. Let's get real, folks. Let's get real. Let's stop with the explaining everything away as if there's a reason for it. As if we have any backbone in history to go off of. It's non-existent. The New Earth thing, the New Age, the love and light communities are not as advertised because nothing is coming through. Nothing is coming through as advertised, and that's just the bottom line. I wish it was different. I'm not trying to be, Mr. Negative here. I'm just I like to call things out the way they are, the way I see them. And that's it. That's all. The funny thing is I posted the link in a Love and Light community today. As soon as I said that, we dropped like 7 people. All right, let's continue, my friends. We need the open-mindedness. That's what we need. We need the open minds, the ones who truly want to discern what's happening here. That's all. So I'm sorry for kind of ranting here, but those who want to find the information will. And there's so much out there. Again, everyone who is maybe new today or just running across this information, please check out Wayne Bush's website at trickedbythelight.com. That's trickedbythelight.com. And Dan at Overwatch channel and on YouTube and overwatchproject.com. He's also on Odyssey and a number of other sites. under Overwatch Project and Overwatch channel. So, but definitely also check out Wayne, trickedbythelight.com. Must-see website, exposes all sorts of things that I'm talking about, very in-depth. And Dan's process is absolutely incredible too. And there's a lot of backlogs of videos with him. And I have interviewed both. You can see a whole Wayne Bush series, and Dan and I have spoken a number of times as well. And you can kind of get a feeling for where we're all coming at with this information, with trying to share it. So let's continue.
To this earth, stay here, be an anchor. Let the light come in through you into this world. Don't abandon this world. We need you. We need you here. We need you to be present. And we need you to be open, with an open heart. It reminds me, in a very silly way, of the book called Horton Hears a Who. Everybody must be open. To bring this new age in, it is about opening your heart and letting it sing through you.
Yeah.
It is coming.
Yeah. It's coming. Remember, Jesus is on the way. Don't take out the garbage tonight. He's coming. Just hold on.
And it's a matter of all of us. Just open your heart and let it come in. Don't leave. Don't meditate and think this place is a bad place and we're going to get out of here. This is a wonderful place. And it's going to be even more wonderful. You're here to anchor the light so it can come into this dimension and be here.
I left my body.
Look, you know what? I may be a smart ass once in a while, and, you know, it's the only way I can make it through a lot of this stuff, because it's so hard. It's so hard. But please know that any NDE, I've always tried to have the most utmost respect, you know, because I feel bad for every single being here on Earth who's had an experience like that and has been put through the ringer. Not only is it usually like a traumatic incident that results in extreme pain, and suffering, and even depression and anxiety for however long it takes them to recover from, if they've had an injury. And then in addition to the fact that they came back to their body when overwhelmingly they always say, I didn't want to come back. I didn't want to come back. I didn't want to come back. But they're back. Okay. So my heart goes out to them. It really does. But this, you know, my responses are my way of coping with this and delivering this information. And it may come across a little rough or harsh at times, but please know that, you know, I do have compassion and empathy in my heart for each and every one of them. So they're just lost, and we have really no right to judge them fully, even though I might not agree with much of what's said, and call it out for what it is. They are likely just lost, okay? So imagine, put yourself in their shoes. Think about maybe like if you were in their shoes 10, 20, 50, 100 lifetimes ago. You know, that's just decency. That's kindness. So that's really, really important to say, so that it just sucks. It really does. It sucks that we were in this position to begin with. So the next NDE is Richard Kelley. Richard Kelley. I'm going to have to shut off the video feed for a moment.
And I pictured myself out in space. I remembered thinking to myself, you just met your larger self. And that larger self is so much bigger than anything you would have imagined that a God could be. I'm not saying you're God, although essentially you kind of are, but it was huge. That kind of rendered the question, is there a God, a rather moot point, because you just figured it out that if there is one, it'll be beyond your imagination. So how are you going to know it?
Talk about a setup job right there, right? If it's beyond your imagination in human terms, that's a lot of power, right? It's a lot of power. And that type of power is something we aren't necessarily aware of its capabilities, just like we're suppressed with our creator being abilities while we're here. And so you can see how it's easy for us to be taken advantage of by outside forces that we know nothing about. But, you know, it's this amazing, immense power. We got to be careful. Got to be careful.
So how are you going to know it? I've been told God is love, and that seems to be something I've heard more often than anything else. And if God is love, I met God. Oh, it is so much more real on the other side than it is here.
Yeah.
This is a joke.
It is.
This is like going to a movie and watching a movie. When a movie's over, you go outside and it's a gorgeous, beautiful day and it's bright sunshine and comfortable. You say, that may have been on the screen and it looked like something like this, but this is real. It's that dramatically different. Here, they don't know that. They don't know this isn't real. But for me to walk up to somebody and say, this isn't real, all it does is upset them. You came here to experience this. I'm not going to try to distract you and tell you got it wrong.
And that's exactly how I feel when I share this information, my friends. It's like I'm not here to burn anyone's ass. I'm not. I'm here to share it, and those who are receptive, and those who are not. And that's it. The fact is, near-death experiences, and all the other topics that we cover. And I'm not going to go over all of them, but the point is all of those things tell a story, and it tells a story of us being manipulated. That's what it tells. That's what it shows overwhelmingly. And, you know, it's so funny, like, oh, FC, like, how could all these other people have it so wrong and you and Dan and Wayne have it right? We're not ever claiming that we have it 100% right. We just know something is wrong, and what is wrong with moving forward with your life with sovereignty and liberation in your heart. What is wrong with that? I had someone the other day accuse me. I'm not even going to get into it. We'll talk about it later.
Experience this. I'm not going to try to distract you and tell you you got it wrong. I would no more do that. And it's one different thing if somebody wants to hear it. That's great. I'll tell you anything you want to know, you know. But I'm not out here to shove my opinion down anybody's throat. I'm just trying to tell you what it was I experienced, what I learned from it, what I picked up while I was there.
And I'm telling you how I interpret things differently. That's all I'm doing. Want to listen, listen. If you don't, don't.
All right, let me bend your brains. You can edit this out if you don't want it. You're not here. I'm not either. I know it. I live with 1 foot here and 1 foot there. I wouldn't turn that loose for anything. That's reality. And if I turn this loose, I'll just go back there. Well, obviously, I had some reason why I wanted to be here, so I'm going to stick around and see what it is.
But you don't know, right? But you don't know, and that's where the flaw comes in, is the veil of forgetfulness, lifetime after lifetime, not knowing where you came from, why you're here, or where you're going. You may get glimpses and pieces of it, but you're never going to have the full story. I don't care who you are. It's just not possible to have the full story of your entire existence while being here in a human body. It's just not possible. Now, maybe for, those with highly advanced technology, but that's not something we all have access to. Like the transfer of consciousness into something that recalls and retains every past life, and they just get their rocks off by being here and messing with us. No, that's different. But, raise your hand. Do any of you have that stuff? Any of you have access to that technology? Anybody know anyone who has access to that technology? No.
But is it real important? It's just part of a drama.
It's part of a drama. We're in some cosmic, weird, creepy matrix play that plays itself out. And that's just the truth.
This appears to be real, and we want it to seem real.
Desperately.
So, of course, we ignore anything that's going to get in the way of it seeming to be real. We don't want to see it. If we saw everything that we're doing, we would know we're not here.
Yep.
Well, that makes being here a lot less exciting. We do everything we can to cover it up.
Boy, and I wonder how that happens. That happens because of the conditions that are set up here with everything from cradle to grave. That's how it's set up. The limitations that the human body comes with. That's a huge, huge part of it. The veil of forgetfulness. Massive part of it.
You go to bed, you have a dream. I mean, a wonderful dream. And yet, while the dream's happening, you're not aware that it's a dream. When you wake up, you say, oh, I had a dream. But while you were doing the dream, you had no idea it was a dream. To you, it was real. Same kind of thing. It is the other way around. This is a figment of your imagination. It's a dream you're having. You're not even here. You're at source.
And it's really hard to find words for this.
So look, the last segment shown, let me just play it.
Here, this is a figment of your imagination. It's a dream you're having. You're not even here. You're at source.
Okay. It's a figment of your imagination. It absolutely is. It is a figment of our imaginations. And, some people be like, oh, why can I knock on this desk? Why can I feel pain? Why can I do this? Yeah, I mean, it's very real when you're in it. Our bodies are essentially a haptic feedback system, okay? Capable of chemical swings, huge emotional swings, everything from love and happiness to hate and anger. Okay? And depression, anxiety, and contentness, and everything. Okay? They swing in all different ways, depending on how we feel that day. And, see, we may be connected back to one prime source. I'm not necessarily discounting that, but I'm not willing to risk it to find out. I'm not willing to risk it that I need to be reunited or reconnected with Source or God or the Creator, whatever you want to call it, okay? I know nothing about it because of the veil of forgetfulness. Again, lifetime after lifetime, we come here completely in the dark. That's a big red flag. That says to me that I need to look out for myself. You need to look out for yourself. And that's it. Just look out for yourself. That's it. What's wrong with that? What is wrong with that?
And it's really hard to find words for this, but so I'm going to use some metaphors. But at some point, the angel was gone, and I arrived at the other end, and there before me was the living presence of the being of light. And this being was all-knowing. It knew everything that was going to happen and will happen, and the reasons behind them. And there was a perfect justice, and it also contained all things that ever were or will be. And it was loving me. It was just pouring out this unconditional love at me. And I thought, well, this isn't the guy on the top of the Sistine Chapel. I had this, image of what God would be like, but I figured this has to be God because this is beyond words and perfect in every possible sense. And what happened is all of my thoughts just went out telepathically, and the answers, the perfect answers, came back. It wasn't the way like we talk, it was like the entire...
The perfect answers came back. Let's rewind that. That's a big one.
All of my thoughts just went out telepathically.
All my thoughts went out telepathically.
And the answers, the perfect answers, came back.
And the perfect answers came back. I ask a question, I direct my intention as a creator being, and I am requesting answers. So
it wasn't the way like we talk, it was like the entire answer and all of its ramifications instantly came into my head. And the only thing I remember, I don't remember the details, this was specifics of the answers, but I knew that I had known these things before. And
you've known these things before, but you forgot because of the veil of forgetfulness. And you're asking questions in a realm that you know nothing about. You're not involved with it. You just had, whatever incident happened to lead to your near-death experience. You're chugging along. Realize that you can speak telepathically and ask questions and receive answers. Where are those answers coming from? How do we know that those answers are on the up and up? We don't. And that's the biggest problem. Again, I know I'm repeating myself, but it has to be said about the importance of how we just don't know. We don't know. Isn't it better to play it safe?
Answers, but I knew that I had known these things before. And I thought, oh, of course. How could I ever have forgotten? And so what happened is, after a while, I ran out of questions because I got it. I got the whole picture, the perfect knowledge that is present in the mind of God or everywhere, and I understood it. And I was so in love with the being of light that I and everyone else just melted back.
See? You see how the love bomb is a drug? You see how the light is a drug? It's a euphoria rush. I was so in love. Listen.
So in love with the being of light that I and everyone else just melted back.
I was so in love with the being that I and everyone else just melted right back. We know, again, she knows nothing about this being. Nothing about this being. She's asking questions contained within a realm that she knows nothing about because she just came from a human body. It's boom, 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 immediate attack on her, attack on everyone, attack on us when we leave here. And that's why we got to stand up for ourselves and say enough is enough. Again, I'm repeating myself for a reason. We're going over 21 cases, so you're going to hear a lot of repetitive talk. But the reason I'm saying is because it's in case after case after case after case. People will say all sorts of things. It's the most love I ever felt. Again, boom, euphoria rush. And you got, you just came from a physical body and you're dealing with entities you know nothing about, but somehow they feel right. I may not know who they are, or I may know who they are, or think I know who they are, but I trust them. And then there's the whole all-knowing factor. This is a big one I love to talk about. All-knowing. 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 If you're all-knowing, why are so many questions being asked? It should be instantaneous. You should already know it. It should be, it should be no question whatsoever. The answers should just be there. You should not have to project yourself outwards, asking something exterior to yourself for answers, letting them come back and infiltrate you. That's a directive. Remember, creator being abilities, sending that directive out there and saying, what's the answer to this? What's the answer to this? Oh, I knew that. I knew that the whole time. Some of them may be legit. Some of the answers may be completely legit. That's neither here nor there. The point is you open yourself up by allowing yourself to give yourself away to something exterior to yourself that you know nothing about, but perceive as God, as Jesus, as Buddha, as Archangel Michael, as, deceased loved ones, deceased pets. Throw out the whole welcome wagon. You pick one, they'll use it. Because it's every experience and a near-death experience, and all the researchers are in agreement with this, that the experience is customized to the individual. It's customized. Why is that? Why is everything so customized?
So in love with the being of light that I and everyone else just melted back into this primal oneness. And it was just perfect. It was like the essence or the quintessence of everything that ever will exist before in the next cycle of creation was there. And I believe that we were all there and we were all one. And I found myself coming out of this unity as a drop in this cosmic ocean and saying, oh, I remembered that I had been Beverly, but here I was, one with God and one with all things. And it was like a drop of water in the ocean. I was separate, and yet I was part of that ocean, the cosmic ocean of God and of all creation. Well, I don't remember being asked because I never would have wanted to leave.
I don't remember being asked. Whoop. There's the memory wipe. You know what? I really need to get something like a soundboard, like a little thing with some sound effects, so I can just hit little buttons that make funny sounds. So, because it just happens so often. Just here we go. Really important moment. Memory wipe, front and center. Let's roll out the red carpet, my friends.
Cosmic ocean of God and of all creation. Well, I don't remember being asked because I never would have wanted to leave.
I don't remember being asked because I wouldn't have wanted to leave. What was the last case? Same thing. I don't remember making a decision, but I must have. I remember moving at least he claims, I remember making a movement forward, and then he perceived it as being kicked out of heaven. But he claims he doesn't remember. I'm sorry, I don't remember the name, but we've gone over many cases now. Many cases where it is absolutely clear cut that the memory wipe that we experience here on Earth, remember, not knowing where we came from, why we're here, where we are going, is also experienced in the astral realm. She admits it right here. We've gone over too many cases now for this to be denied. It is a major problem, and it shows that the realm itself, not just here, but the realms, which I suspect are just completely linked to here, okay? They have linkages. Have a memory wiping mechanism put in place in order to aid us in forgetting. If you don't remember decisions you made, if you don't remember why the hell you're even here, or why you came back when you can't even fathom the reason why you would have left in the first place to something that you perceived as frickin' heaven, that creates a problem. That creates a overwhelmingly obvious problem in deception, manipulation. It's not on the up and up. We see the deception. Now, whether it wants to be acknowledged or not is another thing entirely. But please, 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 take the information that's being shared with you today, with everybody, with all of us, and don't let it slip between the cracks. There are a lot of truths out there. There are a lot of distraction. There's a lot of manipulation to try and get you to not find who you truly are and what is going on, not just in this realm, but right outside of here. It's designed in a way for us not to self-discover, for us not to walk the path of sovereignty and liberation. Please, don't let it slip between your hands. Please.
Well, I don't remember being asked because I never would have wanted to leave. The ecstasy is just indescribable. The feelings you have there are so much more intense than what we can experience in these bodies. It's like here we're like a little candle, and there we're like a star. It's like 1,000 times more intense. Everything is interconnected in a perfect way, and there are no accidents. Everything happens for a purpose, and that's part of our life's plan, even though we can't understand the purposes usually while we're going through it.
See? Yes, and I've gone over this. I've gone over it exhaustively. Or exhaustively. With Michael Newton's 2 books, went over them cover to cover. Journey of Souls and Destiny of Souls. I do suggest, if you're new to the channel and you want to see some of the deception up front and center, to go through those 2 books. Now, they are very, very long playlists, but if you want to kind of get a glimpse at what's going on behind the scenes before we get here, take a look, because Michael Newton's interpretation and my interpretation and other researchers into the Matrix, Reincarnation, Soul Trap are vastly different. And it's so obvious once you see it. So please, if you're gonna take a look at those, first look at Journey of Souls and then Destiny of Souls. You don't even need video for it. It could play in the background, no problem, and just listen to it when you get a chance. Maybe an hour a day, or a couple hours a week, or whatever you can get through. And I go over many, many, many cases that Newton put forward. And I actually have another series coming out where we're going to go over a ton of past life regressions as well. And the key thing is the patterns. The patterns don't lie. They just don't. There's so many that crisscross and show a clear-cut case for deception. We're being played, my friends. And that's just the bottom line. And I hate to even say this stuff because if it was opposite, I would say it. I would gladly sit up here and say to you, okay, everything's love and light and that's cool. But it's not. It's just not. And she's admitting it right here. I don't remember making a decision. I must have made a decision, but I don't remember. And that's an NDE case. This is one case with the past life regressions. It's boiling over. So are the NDEers, though. You pick the topic that we cover on this channel, and they're all the same. They just show clear-cut, just pathetic attempts at deceiving us, but they're very good at it. We've all fallen for it. Remember, we're all here, so we've all fallen for it. No one's the exception.
And there are no accidents. Everything happens for a purpose, and that's part of our life's plan, even though we can't understand the purposes usually while we're going through it. And I knew that we cannot die, that we will just, like taking off a coat, we will just take off these bodies when they're worn out and go on to a greater, more magnificent universe. And I had to really think about everything I believed, about all the metaphysical beliefs I had at that time, and everything the culture had taught me, what I learned at school and what I learned in my family, and I just threw it all out, because the touchstone for me has always been what happened in the NDE. It was more real than my sitting here 39 years later and telling the story. That really happened. This is like a dream, but that was real.
I experienced a lot of change.
That's a big part of NDEs, right? I mean, we'll hear it time and time again that it's more real than real. It's the most real experience that they've ever had. So, just throwing that out there. It's a key NDE component. Hey, Michael, hope you're doing well out there. Vixen, Mary, good to see you.
This is like a dream, but that was real.
I experienced a lot of changes. I know I was not scared of death anymore. I felt more spiritual than religious. Because I felt relief knowing that there is somewhere that you're going to be after you're here. This life isn't it. This is just something we come to experience. So a lot of things changed. I started seeing plants different and animals different. I used to just not care about animals. I'm like, oh, they're just animals. They don't have souls and stuff like that. But I started thinking differently after that. So I seen them as animals, as their own person, like they're their own spirit too. And every plant that I see, I'm like, okay, plants are spirits too. Like I started seeing everything, the sky and the trees. I started appreciating all like nature, and I didn't before. I started understanding people more instead of, let's say, if someone gets me mad really easy, after my experience, I more just understand them more. I try to think about what they're going through in life, maybe something bad that they're going through, just like I was. My employment after my near-death experience has changed. I started working with special ed kids. That's become my passion. I love working with those kids. I chose special ed. I feel like they need extra help. And I feel like they're also sort of connected to spirit as well. Something that I will say during that experience, when my angels told me you have a lot to do for so many people, I think that followed me after that.
All right, I just want to let anyone know who's just coming in, like I'm going back and forth between the thumbnail and the video because of the copyright stuff. But yeah, I mean, look, his angels told him this is a case of attempted suicide. Just so you know, one of those NDEs, and you know, his name is Chris Batts, and, you know, my heart goes out to him, but it's, you know, he's again looking for guidance outside himself, exterior to himself, and relying on it to be trustworthy, and, you know, the word of gospel, should we say. And, you know, Chris is a good guy. I mean, anyone that's the thing with NDEers, man. They come back and sometimes they do amazing things that truly, truly help the fabric of society. And, you know, we gotta be thankful for that. But in a sense, they're taking their experience so far and sacrificing their own sovereignty and liberation in exchange for something they feel is authentic because they had an experience. And can you blame them? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, really, you gotta, for Chris to do that, that's awesome. And I hope he finds whatever he needs, and realizes sovereignty and liberation sooner rather than later.
You have a lot to do for so many people. I think that followed me after that, because certain things they teach me was being grateful for everything. And also, most importantly, being better every day. And one of the most important things that they told me was to love. Spread love everywhere that I can. That's the most important thing, because people need love. Even the most angry person needs love in their life. I needed love in my life, and that's what I didn't have. So that's what caused my suicide, was feeling loveless. At a time like this, it's definitely not easy for most people. I do understand why it would be scared to spread love, because it's the fear of not getting it back. And you can easily meet someone and you can show them love, and they won't show you love back. They'll say something bad or negative to you, and they'll just completely just count you out or write you off for showing love. Like, why are you showing me love for? Like, are you stupid? And I think it could scare people off. So all I do is share my story with them, my true story, and hope. And that's what I do. I tell them in hopes that it can help them. In my experience, I wished I would have met that person that had hopes. So when I think about suicide now, I feel like you're cheating yourself, so to speak. But like I said, I can't judge, because some people just have had enough.
And like Chris's, again, you can find Chris's near-death experience out there. I've contemplated covering it fully, but you know, there's something about some of these cases that, you know, I just feel you gotta just let him go. You know, let him do his thing. You know, I respect Chris and everything he's done for himself, and you know, changing his life around, working with children with special needs. I mean, that's a good quality that we need more of here. So, you know, there's just certain things that are off limits, and Chris's story is one of them.
And like there was nothing worse than being here. I didn't care what was going to happen next. Nothing could be worse than being here. So that's why I can't judge.
Nothing could be worse than being here. You know, again, this is just a clip. We're not going to go into the full depth of his NDE, but you can find it again online easily.
What was going to happen next? Nothing could be worse than being here. So that's why I can't judge. But I wish I could tell any suicidal person to just stick around. Things, just wait for it to change, because right when you're on that verge of giving up, that's when something good is going to happen.
And, okay. See, this is why I gotta, you gotta be careful with these things. As hard as things can be, it's important to keep in mind that we're talking about this topic, sovereignty and liberation, is huge. It's massive. It's the most important incarnation of our lifetimes. And I want to make sure that we have the maximum amount of success as possible. And that's what it's all about, right? So what is wrong with taking advantage of the time that we have available to us for that? And I think it's important to also say that if you are feeling really down, suicidal, or you're in a very difficult situation and need to reach out to someone, that there are links at the very bottom of the description, as stated at the very top of the description. Just scroll all the way down and use those links to contact your local emergency services or suicide hotline if you need to, or various hotline by country. Okay, so please don't ever think that that's the answer, because it's not. This is our chance to shine. This is our chance to take back control of ourselves. And it's so important that we maximize that time as much as possible. Okay? That's all.
If I can go back, I would tell myself, this world is very huge. You're important, because if you weren't, you wouldn't be here. I would also tell myself, out of all the people you know, there's someone that you can talk to that loves you. If not, I can love you. I do have hope for this world.
I'm sorry. The question is, how do you see the future of our world?
I do have hope for this world, even in times like this, because there are a lot of people who have love in them. It may just be contagious, and it may affect the other person, because love is actually proven to heal. Love always wins, because it's where we came from.
Love always heals, because that's where we came from. We came from a construct that, yes, there is love here. There is also the opposite end of the spectrum here. And then it also presents itself at the time of death as love. And it could present itself as the Greek underworld as well, or the Catholic, Christian, whatever, hell-like landscape, okay? With Hades and whatever you want to throw out there, okay? All this stuff is possible. So it's not just in one direction. It's all about what can keep you here. What can keep you maintained within the system and compliant. Because it's not worried whatsoever if when you leave here, if you fall into one of its other realms. It's not worried, because you're still contained within it. If it's got you by its grips, the second you leave here, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. And if you continue to go along with that, the second you leave here, that's on you, because you're using your intention and creator being abilities to go along with it. So again, sovereignty, liberation as your driving force day to day is so important.
To heal. Love always wins, because it's where we came from. Everyone has talents. Everybody is useful for something. Somebody might be an artist. They can draw so well. Me, I was really into music. So I would try to use that as a positive thing to try to help people through tough times. Maybe they can listen to my music to get stressed out. Somebody might be a good cook. We all need food. You know, they have chefs, the most professional chefs. That's a talent. That's a gift. Somebody might be a great speaker. Everybody has talents and everybody's useful in this world. So every morning, I usually like to wake up early. And if I go to work in the morning or something, I'll go to a certain spot before I go to work so I can just think and clear my head. Some have their own ways of meditation, and the way that I learned that the spirit world works, it's not so picky. Like, you don't necessarily have to follow each and every technique that you see someone do when they're sitting down and they're crossing their legs. You can meditate with your eyes open. You can walk and meditate. If I'm at home in the morning, I have my headphones on. I meditate through music sometimes. Sometimes I don't have music. Either way, I'll pace back and forth while I'm thinking and putting things together and thinking about the day. What do I have to do today? What do I got to do next week? There's so many ways you can meditate, and it all opens your mind and it clears your mind. I believe that most people get material things all because they're searching for that inner peace. So that's like, it all starts with that inner peace. You can have all the money in the world and you have no inner peace at all.
100%.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, it is important to work. You have to have a roof over your head. You have to have a job to do that. I mean, yeah, that stuff is...
Which goes to the construct of the matrix in which we live in, right? Goes right to that. So just remember that. What developed this construct and allowed this type of takeover to exist, not just now, but in the past. For as far back as we have records for, there is no consistent timeline where humanity has been at everlasting peace and not answerable to some outside force. Seriously. I have put forth many times, bring me the evidence. And even if you brought evidence of maybe like some little tribe in the middle of nowhere, they were at peace until, well, what happened? They get invaded. I'm talking about realm-wide peace. I'm talking about realm-wide happiness where, for an extended period of time, I just don't see it. I wish I saw it. I really do. I don't want to say all this stuff. I don't. I want what's best just as much as the next person. That's it.
Over your head, you have to have a job to do that. I mean, yeah, that stuff is important. Don't get me wrong, but some people make that everything. They'll put that over everything, and they end up missing that inner peace. So my main message is that you are enough and you are loved. The one thing I like to say is that God/Source has no favorites. Whether you call him God, whether you call him Billy, whether you call him Source, whatever you call him, he's fine with that. I mean, it's not so technical like some people might think. Like, if I call him God, he's not going to hear me because I pray to Jehovah, or like I pray. It's all the same.
Can you see how that may play a problem? It's all the same. Because everything funnels into the same system, the same deception, the same manipulation. And that's where the rubber meets the road, my friends. Because it's clear. It's clear that near-death experiences, what they go through is customized to them. Case by case by case. Now, are there anomalies? Of course, we talk about, there are the occasional anomaly that pops up. But does that make up for the 95% plus percentage of cases that line up point by point by point, time and time again? No, it doesn't. There are just anomalies in this reality, in this existence, and that's just the way it is. And then you got to ask yourself, maybe the anomaly cases are lacking truth. Maybe they're lacking something that's missing because they go against the grain, and not just like a 50-50 or a 70-30. It is massive. I'm talking upwards. Look, I can't say exactly what the numbers are, but I'll be generous and go low. 85% to 15. Okay? We can leave it at that. And if you can't be convinced by the 85%, well, I'm sorry. I mean, like the most way more than me, the most proficient near-death experiencer researchers out there will say that the experience is customized. Does that and based usually in belief systems. Now that belief system doesn't have to be religion. The belief system can be literally anything. It could be you believing that, the toad outside your door is God, okay? Or that, you love that toad so much that you're going to see the toad in a near-death experience, and the toad's going to talk to you because you loved it so much and you cared so much for it. You helped it out, and the toad gave you comfort. I mean, that's seriously what we're looking at.
We come from our creator, so that means that if our creator's love, so are we. But we're not used to being on an earth like this. We're used to being advanced. This earth, I feel like, is just an experience. So we can experience what sadness is, what heartbreak is, what anger is. I feel like all of this, we come here to experience what that is. But we're still the same soul. So we just maybe come here to get better ourselves or to learn more. And then we go back home.
So now.
Okay. So I was hoping that we can finish it off. We still got about another 15 minutes, but my back is killing me and I got to take a break, and we're at like 3 hours and 13 minutes. So just hang in there for a little bit longer. We only got a couple more cases to go over. They're good ones. And I'll see you shortly, my friends. Thanks so much for your patience. And I'm going to try to make it back before 5 minutes, but every time I say that, it doesn't happen. Thank you. patience. Let's get back into it.
So now...
Okay, so this case... Sorry, I meant to have this queued up, but I don't, of course. I did before the break, and then I skipped something. Okay, so we are at Ingrid Honkala. Honkala. Honk. All right, I'm going to post the name up here. This is, I believe, the second time she's appeared tonight. Yeah, she appeared earlier in the evening, so this is a duplicate.
You're putting that you're learning in practice. You're empowering yourself. I can do something. Peace starts with each one of us. The moment we expect that others do it, the moment I look outside and say, look at the mess outside, I cannot do anything, I lost the battle. But the moment I say, I am this being capable of loving, capable of giving, then now I am becoming that light. And each one of us can be the light in the path of each other. I am not a light that is going to work alone, because one light is easy to be blown away by the wind. But what if I start joining like we're doing here? Another person that already discovered, I have that inner light. I have that inner power, and all these lights start joining, and now we become a huge flame. And this is actually happening this moment in the world. Although there's still a lot of chaos out there, there's a lot of people waking up right now. A lot of people that have been shaken so hard by all these challenges and all these hardships that we're starting to realize, what can we actually do? What can I do myself? In the end, I would say perception is projection. So we're perceiving what we project. If I am a person that is that state of anger and fear, and I see life with the eyes of hardship, that's what I'm getting back.
Okay, Ingrid, I just gotta say this. She seems like a very sweet woman, and, tip my hat to her. But perception, just because it's limited here in relation to the physical body, and freaking, we know it is beyond belief. Okay, it's very limited. Our just the visual spectrum alone, that limits us. That we're kind of confined to this experience through this vessel. Okay. And, we go out into dream time, we experience astral projection, out-of-body experiences, or various altered states of consciousness, and we realize that we are much more than our physical body. That's all said and good, right? That's awesome. Okay, it's a way for us to find ourselves through self-realization, okay, over a course of time. Some maybe faster than others, but for me, it took quite some time. I'm a slow learner, takes me a while, and I don't trust very easily. But as far as the whole, okay, everyone is a whole. It's like, okay, everything that, perception, deception can exist here, but it can't exist in the astral. It can't exist in who we perceive to be God or Buddha or Muhammad or whoever, deceased loved ones. And that's what I'm talking about. We just got to be careful. Why should we put blind trust in a system that, yes, we may have agreed to it initially. Fair enough, okay? That is us taking responsibility for what we decided to do initially. Way back, who knows how many lifetimes, when we first got here, okay? Fine. I take my responsibility for that, personally. But then you have a system that's set up lifetime after lifetime, which is designed in a way to make you forget with the veil of forgetfulness, leaving you hanging by a thread, not knowing where you came from, why you're here, where you're going. And I know I repeat myself a lot, but again, case after case, we see this. So Ingrid likes to say, yeah, you know, the human experience may be flawed. You know, your perceptions may be deceived with this vessel, but it can't possibly be deceived when you're crossing over, or you have an altered state of consciousness experience, or when you pass away, or if you have a near-death experience, or whatever. And that's where the problem comes in. That's where the problem comes in. It's blind trust, blind faith in something that we have no recollection about. And what it seems to be doing, overwhelmingly, is manipulating us into thinking that we know it, we trust it, and that this realm and its adjacent astral realms are our quote-unquote home, source, God, whatever the heck you want to call it. And I'm calling it out. I'm calling it out and saying, I don't think that for a minute. And I think everybody here should be doing the same thing. Or at least considering it. That's it. Just consider it. Again, I am trying to put my thoughts out there, but at the same time, I'm not trying to win anyone over. I'm not going to engage in endless babble of conversation trying to fight someone. I'm done with that. But the important thing is at the end of the day, regardless of what you believe, regardless of what you subscribe to, isn't it just smart to play it on the safe side? Just play it safe. Can't hurt. Play it slow. Instead of just jumping the gun and buying into what is perceived to be God or Jesus or Buddha or Muhammad, just play it safe. That's it. If our perceptions can be deceived here in the physical body, as Ingrid point blank showed and acknowledged, and then we're talking about something like a love bomb, heaven, nirvana, paradise, Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, God, the creator, source, whatever you want to call it. If we are deceived here and something is claiming that we're all love, that everything is based in love, and yet we're here and see what the heck goes on here, and we're just supposed to just blindly trust it when we cross over. Something is seriously wrong with that line of thinking, because it flies in the face of everything that we see. It doesn't align properly. If everything was love, it doesn't align. It doesn't make sense. And that's all I'm saying. I am not saying by any means that I have all the answers. All I'm saying is question things. Put this information to the fire. Research yourself. That, again, nobody needs my channel. Everyone can do this research on them by themselves, and come back a couple years from now and say, FC, I see it, or FC, you're freaking quack. Doesn't matter to me. Whatever path you want to take, if you want to look. If you don't. But the information's there, and we live in a time where we are so freaking lucky to have access to the information that we do. I am convinced, at least for me, I can't speak for anyone else, but I am convinced that I specifically picked this incarnation for a reason deep within the recesses of my true essence. Because I would have access to all this information, because I would be able to dig into all these things, and all of us would be able to. And just look at Just look at like I mean, regardless of what you feel about the population numbers, okay? And that's a whole nother thing I'm not even going to get into. All right. But the point is regardless of what you think, it's clear that there are many of us here, many of us lost, many of us spread out throughout all over this realm. And we are more than likely purposely divided by design. Now, can I say that for sure? I don't know. But it seems that way. It does. So anyways, sorry for rambling. All I'm saying at the end of the day is just question things. Don't take things at point value. Just because someone has an NDE or channels some entity or feels like they're dealing with their deceased loved ones, you know, and you know, after they die or on their or in relation to deathbed visions and visitations, doesn't necessarily mean that that's who they're dealing with. You got to remember with the life review, this is the nail in the coffin too. With the life review, literally every minute, every second of every minute of every day, of every week, of every month, of every hour, of every moment of your lifetime is logged, recorded, and used at the life review. Who's doing that? Who has control of that? That's creepy, isn't it? It's just like giving your data to Facebook, giving your data to Google. It's the same thing. No different. And yet we agreed to it. We agreed to that prior to coming here. We agreed to it, you know, knocking on the door, so to say, lifetime after lifetime. But that's because we kept falling for it over and over and over again. All right, so the perception, deception, running strong, both here and in the astral. That's my very strong opinion. We know what's happening here. And, you know, I've left my body a few times and saw deceptive entities and have been prevented from leaving my body during astral projection sessions because of entities. How about that one? Why do they want to prevent, at least for me, and I know others have experienced this. I don't know. I mean, I know it's common, but I don't know how common it is because it's tough to say. But the point is, you know, if someone's trying to leave their body on purpose, and every time they leave their body, there's some creepy ass freaking entity at the end of the bed trying to rattle them, something's wrong with that picture. Why am I prevented from, or at least limited, not prevented, but limited by some exterior force that doesn't want me to leave my body? Gotta ask that question. I know some people do not have a problem with this, so, you know, I'm just talking strictly for myself, but gotta ask yourself the question, because I know others experience it. Why the interference? Why even be there in the first place? Think about breakthrough trip reports of all different kinds. They talk about the same thing. It's like, oh, usually there's like an entity, you know, ready and waiting as I take my first hit or second hit or as I'm leaving my body. It's there. It's no different, except I'm doing it without drugs. And yet it's there, trying to prevent me from leaving my body. I don't know how many of you out there have that issue, but it's a big problem for me. And it's not even like it scares me. I'm sorry to be rambling, I really am, but it's not even like it scares me. It's just like, it's so weird because the period in which I leave my body, okay, I get the weird sounds, I leave my body, and I'm just hovering right above it. And right at the end of the bed, like clockwork, one of the first things I'll see is some creepy entity, and then it's like, right back in my body. breaks the whole experience. Now, I'm not even necessarily scared of it at this point. In the past, I'm not going to lie, I was. Okay, it freaked me the hell out. But now I'm at the point where it's like I'm used to it. I expect it. But there's something about that processing time, that moment where I am trying to I have no other way of describing it except that it's that processing moment, that moment where I lock, we can call it eyes, my astral, my vision onto it, and I don't have a time to just say, like, get rid of it. And then it's like, boom, right back on the body. It's not even like an overflowing of emotions that would trigger me to go back to my body. Because a lot of times it seems to, in general, at least from what I understand about astral projection practice, is that once you're scared of something and show swings of emotions in very, like, varying directions, that's what's going to send you back down to your body and ruin the experience. And it's not even the fear. It just seems to automatically send me back. And I don't have enough time to neutralize the entity with my creator being abilities. So, sorry for the rant, but it bothers me. So, welcome to my bitch session.
So we're perceiving what we project. If I am a person that is that state of anger and fear, and I see life with the eyes of hardship, that's what I'm getting back. If I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm frowning, I cannot expect the mirror to be doing anything else. When people try to change things at the level of the form, I said to them, you're wasting your time. This is already a result. You cannot change anything here. You have to go at the level of the cause. You have to go within. You have to see things with the eyes of wisdom. What is this for? What is the purpose of this? How can I do to be the light in this situation? I am the change that the world needs. It has to start from me. There's nothing outside. Why are you here? What is your purpose? What you're presenting in my life? So we start practicing awareness in our life. I said awareness is the key to freedom. We become so trapped in our thinking that we cannot see anything that is just working for us, and all the synchronicities and things that are happening for us and evolving in front of our eyes. We cannot see it because the moment we catch something, we missed already a lot. There was a time where the beings of light said to me, you think that you're thinking? You're never thinking. And I said, what? I think all the time. And they said, no. People think they're thinking, but what they're doing is just trapping memories. You live your life trapped in your own memories.
You live your life trapped in your own memories. Now that is a truth bomb, my friends. That's a truth bomb. Lifetime after lifetime, we're trapped in those memories, trapped in those attachments, trapped to those anything, okay? And it could be as something as silly as money or property or housing, and it could be something as reasonable as a loved one, a wife, a husband, a child. This is how it gets its grips on us. Through relationships, through our compassion and empathy. She's right. She's totally right.
That's why when children are just learning, it's like, oh, everything is new, everything is cool, everything is magic. But guess what? As we grow up, it's all the same. All the same. So the only time you're truly thinking is when you're connected with the creative thinking of the universe. And this only can happen when you are at the state of no thought or the state of presence. Now we're leaving our mind open as a channel. the answers to a problem didn't happen when we were stuck in it. It cannot be. Because what happened, you're feeding yourself from memories. You're always going to go back to the same. And the answer comes when like we are out there in the park or relaxing, I forgot everything about it. At that moment you heard the birds, you're in a state of contemplation. At that moment, you connected. And it's when the true answer comes.
Okay. Some things to say on that. Early childhood development is key. That is the key to breaking the cycle within the family unit. Everything is conditioned down by design here. And if you have a younger child at home, this is my personal opinion. You know, I understand everyone has to work. Everyone has to get by, however they got to get by and pay the bills, okay? But early childhood development and the system are extremely toxic. And set up in a way, and I am a byproduct of this, I think many of us are, is, you know, parents got to work, and we're sent to kindergarten, we're sent to elementary school, public elementary school, or maybe even private, I don't know, and on and on and on, okay? And so our parents can work, or whoever can work, and whoever's providing care for the family, and it goes on and on. But what happens is we're set up in a certain set of narratives while we're in that unit, and it's not for our best interest. It takes us away from ourselves, and quite frankly, it's toxic. The other thing is cell phones, even internet access in general. The way to break the ties, and please, parents out there, you know, who've already, you know, had their children go through this, or even had, you know, older children move out of the house or whatever, it's okay. It's okay. We're all a byproduct of this system. But if you do have a youngin' in your home, homeschooling, if you can do it, is the best thing you can offer them. Breaking those intergenerational ties, breaking those intergenerational traumas and indoctrination is the first step. It really is. And my headset is dragging me along with the wheel on my chair. All right, I'll just stay here. So the reason I say all this is because I don't know who listens. I really don't. And early childhood development was one of the biggest things I looked into because I wanted to understand myself. I wanted to understand, you know, why I did certain things and why I was kind of led in certain directions and messed up and you know, really messed up along the way. And I can't blame it ever on my parents. I can't, because they're a byproduct of their parents and their parents' parents. And it's all a parasitical system that passes down. So where does it get cut off? The only place it can get cut off is in the family unit, condensed in a very small level. So if you want to improve your life, you want to improve the life of your children, the only way to really do it is in the moment as they're growing up. And then, you know, even if they're in their, you know, early teens, you can still talk to them and convey what you want to get across as important values. But the problem is also the phone, the internet. that's a big issue. Like, you know, in my opinion, children should not be introduced to phones or the internet until they're an adult. Point blank. You know, let them do their thing. Let them be children. You know, let them play in dirt and ride their bikes and go to the baseball field or soccer field or whatever they're going to do. But those phones, I mean, for me, I grew up in a totally different time. And, you know, again, I am not trying to throw, you know, salt on the wound or anything, because we all were given these devices and they blew up. They were convenient. They were helpful. You know, if you have a long day at work, hey, here's the phone, son, here's the phone, daughter, and you just kind of do your thing, right? But it's like a portable babysitter. And I know you know, I just want to say to parents out there, don't ever feel guilty. Don't ever feel guilty. This, you know, what we're involved with, what this system puts on us, is not easy. Okay, the pressure, having to pay the bills, having to bring home the bacon, so to say, and also balance a family unit, a wife, a husband. Don't ever think any less of yourself, because again, everything roots back to intergenerational indoctrination. You know, we're only a byproduct. That's it. And I'm sorry for kind of rambling, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Mindfulness practice helps a lot. Meditation helps a lot. Mindfulness eating helps a lot. You know, taking away the phone time, taking away the social media. It's going to be a struggle in the beginning, but it helps. It really helps. It's just that initial period where they basically go through withdrawals. And let's admit it, many of us here are addicted to technology. We're all in this tonight. So, you know, we're not necessarily any better than the others, but it's looking out for our loved ones as best we can. That's all we can do, right? That's it. So I'm done kind of, I hate even saying preaching, but that's kind of what it was. I apologize, and just know that my heart goes out to every one of you out there who have children of all ages. Okay, hang in there. It's okay.
I do some practice. One of my favorite practices now is I do walking meditation. I go in this road. I even close my eyes and I walk in the state of absolute awareness. I hear every bird, every leaf. I can sense the wind. I can hear every cricket. I hear my steps. So when you're going to be able to breathe right now, wherever you are in the state of presence. And now we start perceiving and seeing things with the eyes of clarity. Everything has a purpose, and even the religions and everything, the philosophies, everything that the humanity has gone through was needed at some point, because those are all the little tools. Everything is a process. Like when we go to school, we don't start in college. We start in kindergarten. And from there, we go. But the problem is when we get stuck in the same class. What if I repeat first grade for the next 30 years? So there's no evolution anymore. Now we're stuck in the same. And that's what happened with a lot of the concepts, a lot of the ideas, a lot of the beliefs, is just being stuck in the same. Only now that people are starting to ask the questions, because these questions have been formulated throughout the history of humanity, but just by few. Who am I? What is my purpose? Is this all it is? What if there's more? When we start asking these questions, we start evolving, seeking for something new. And all of us that have all these experiences are being able to talk because now I know that that person had it and that person, now people start feeling safer to talk. And there's more conferences and more groups and more people that are coming outside the box and knowing that there's more, and feeling that I want to talk. But sometimes before the big awakening, there's also even bigger challenge. Before you wake up, there's the alarm clock, or there's somebody shaking you awake. So that's sometimes what is needed, and the world is now facing that point in which there's a lot going on. But that's just kind of like the earthquake that is needed for people to go to this realization, I had enough.
Exactly, I've had enough.
Needed for people to go to this realization, I had enough.
I've had enough.
I had enough of this.
Enough.
Is when we move out of the couch. I put the example of a bird that is in a nest. Then life will push you so hard that now you make the decision, I better jump. And the moment you jump and spread the wings, now you realize, oh, I can fly. So if all these challenges didn't happen, you never knew that you could actually fly.
Yeah, no, definitely can't play this one. All right. All right, my friends, that's going to wrap things up. Courage, yeah, you can send me a link. foreverconsciousresearch@gmail.com. That's foreverconsciousresearch@gmail.com. I'm not very good with responding to emails. I've been getting so many, I just can't respond to everyone. But I do read most of them. I may get backed up, but yeah, feel free to send it over if you'd like. And anyone who runs across anything interesting, feel free to send it over anytime. I'm always willing to look, and always appreciate any leads on information or videos or whatever. Feel free to send it over. So before we wrap things up for tonight, I just wanted to throw out there that I am going to, in the near future, start working on, well, no, I wouldn't say near, but this year, I'll be working on putting out smaller condensed clips on one of my backup channels, if not both backup channels. So they're also there as a protective measure in case something should ever happen here. So if you're new to the channel or haven't subscribed to me yet, please check out the YouTube backup channels, Forever Conscious Research 2 and 3. They're located in the description. I also have an Odyssey account where my content is sent over there. Just really quick on Odyssey, if you do see a live stream that is sent over there, and it's only 2 hours, it's most likely missing either a lot or a portion of the information that was shared here on YouTube. I also have a DLive account and Instagram, where I've done exclusive Instagram videos over there, live streams on Instagram. I've done 3 related to DMT and near-death experiences, if you'd like to check those out. And I do plan to bring those over to YouTube, so for anyone who doesn't have a Instagram account, just hang in there. I'll get that over here at some point. I'm not sure when, but hopefully sometime this month. And I also have a Twitter. And there is a website being worked on right now, and I will as soon as I get an announcement for that, I will let you know. I'm working with a web developer, and boy, are the costs adding up for that one. And what else was there? I think there's one. Oh yeah, I have a Twitch where I occasionally play video games on. So if you want to swing over there, that's cool. I'm usually not on mic, but if you got a Twitch account and want to swing by, feel free. I have the mic set aside, but I'm not really always on it. But and then I also have YouTube memberships for anyone that's interested in getting additional content. I do exclusive live streams for the members of levels 2 and 3 each month, and you're more than welcome to join those if you want a little bit extra. But I always like to say that anything that I put out that is or anything that's important will never come attached with a price. Anything that's important will always be shared for free here. That's my promise to you. But if you want a little extra content each month, feel free to join the level 2 and 3 memberships. And if you would like a one-on-one talk, I am also available. You can email me at foreverconsciousresearchchannel@gmail.com, foreverconsciousresearchchannel@gmail.com. And I have been getting a lot of requests, but I used to talk to everyone and anyone for over 2 years, but it's just the channel's kind of blown up, and my energy is draining and stuff. So if you'd like a one-on-one, there's a reasonable fee related with that. But yeah, I think I'll leave things at that. But if feel free to reach out to me if you'd like, and I'm available. And there will be details coming soon on the website. And I wish you all the best for the rest of the week. And I would like to thank Jimmy for all his help, as always. And I want to throw up his channel. Please, please, please. Even if, Jimmy's got a gaming channel. I'm going to throw this up right now. But head on over to Jimmy's channel. Even if you could just give him a sub and a bell, or just a sub, that would be great. Because he's trying to build up his channel, and he's done a lot to help our community here. More than I can ever thank him for. So please check him out and subscribe to the channel. Maybe throw him a few likes, maybe watch a few of his videos if you're up to it. And let's try and get Jimmy set up. Let's try and get him monetized, and he's done so much to help ease some of the burdens here that I've had, and I can't thank him enough. I love him, and he's a brother to me, and means a lot. So head on over there and support him if you don't mind. Let's drive up those sub numbers, and yeah, so we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much, everybody. It's been a lot of fun. As always, long stream. We went over, we're almost at 4 hours, maybe over, I don't even know. And yeah, we covered, I think, 20 cases total, or 21, I don't remember, 20, whatever the hell the number is, who cares. And I will see y'all soon. If you'd like to join us in the Discord server afterwards, Jimmy will, I think he already popped it up, but if you want to join us in the Discord server after for a short voice chat, I'll be joining over there after the show. And yeah, okay, I can't talk anymore because I feel completely out of it. I'll see you over in the Discord for a few minutes. Much love, blessings. See you soon.